Hello guys and welcome back to the Football Social live on Football Daily and Soccer AM's social pages. I'm joined by four fine gentlemen in the studio for today's 3 p.m. kickoffs. We're going to key in on Manchester United because we're joined by Manchester United royalty. It's only Joseph Tomlinson wearing an Inter Milan top.
Yeah, it's had to be done there. So that is a sexy T-shirt, isn't it?
It is very nice, mate. Spoiled.
Come on, I'm not confident. Man United in the midst of an injury crisis, although what I will say is there's only one change from the team that went out against Southampton. So we might well be in the midst of an injury crisis, but this is just a thin squad revealing itself.
Yeah, of course, the injury crisis being Paul Pogba out with an ankle injury, Anthony Martial out with a thigh injury, Luke Shaw out with a hamstring injury, Dalot out as well.
With a hip injury, yeah, loads and loads of problems going into the player, the only real quality we've got in that midfield. And I think that probably break on fire, doesn't he? Scored again for Wales midweek. He's playing really well, so I'm excited to see him. We've got Wan-Bissaka fit. He pulled out the England. He was a doubt for today, passed the late fitness test, so he's in the squad. I'm still not confident, but it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be when it was going to be Young and Rojo at fullbacks.
Okay.
So I'm a bit worried, but...
So not confident, but slightly higher aspirations than maybe early on today when, of course, you're on the Saturday social.
Yeah.
Long day for Joseph, so thank you for joining us, mate.
No.
Wow, what a kit.
Thank you.
Critchley. I mean, you have quite the collection, but you've opted for Peru today.
I know.
Explain.
Long live Peru. Well, I put it on my Instagram earlier. What kit should I pick? Had about 15 out there, and the common choice was Peru. So it's had its first outing since about 2012 today.
The people's champion.
And it's just as excited as I am for what is set to be a fantastic round of fixtures.
Are you going to balance out the fandom on that sofa? Are you going to be supporting Leicester?
Yeah, I might as well. I'll try and antagonise
support
Joe as much as possible.
You don't support Leicester.
And Leicester are a really likeable team as well. There's so much to like about them at the moment, really on really good form. If they win today, at this early stage, they've got the chance to go above Man City, although that can change at the 5:30 game.
And will, because they're playing Norwich, who have 10 injuries.
And yeah, as you say, Norwich have about 3 fit players. But yeah, lots of players that are incredibly exciting to watch today on the Leicester side, and potential to cause damage to, heap misery on this guy.
For sure. Do you know if Leicester win today, they'd have done 5 games unbeaten. The last time they did that, they won the league. So all I'm saying is, gentlemen, a league title is on the line today. Ooh. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's look at the rest of the games first, as displayed on screen now. Will,
yes,
you're going to be watching the 3 p.m. kickoffs when they finally come up as a graphic.
Yeah.
And what are you looking forward to out of this bunch?
Yeah, really looking forward to Wolves-Chelsea today. I think many people were tipping Wolves to kind of flirt with that sort of 6th position to get into Europe. They haven't started the best, and Chelsea very attacking, so I think there could be goals, and more importantly, content.
Well, talking of content, let's find out how you guys can get involved. We've got another Manchester United fan in Ash in Social Corner.
Ashty.
First and foremost, United's equal worst start to a season in 27 years.
Yeah.
But let's put that to one side. Are you confident about today?
No, not in the slightest at all.
Home form has been poor.
Looking like a Leicester victory, I'd say. Back them in your rackers. I'm sure they'll be doing well.
Loving the cynicism. How do people get in touch? People that are, in a slightly more positive mindset than yourself.
Yes, please be positive. Get in touch at Football Daily, at Soccer AM. Use the hashtag TFS. Get on YouTube, get in the live comment section, and we will ask the best questions to the panel.
Absolutely
Get
wonderful
involved.
work, Ash T. Let's talk about today's earlier fixture before we move on to the formations for today, because Liverpool won 3-1. Sadio Mane grabbing his 6th goal of the season. 5 goal involvements in 5 for Firmino and 6 goal involvements for Salah. The Manchester United fan on the end celebrating that Liverpool victory. Perfect start for them. That's 5 wins in 5. Absolutely imperious form. Tomlinson, where are they going to finish? Second.
Liverpool, second. Yeah. Man City, I think... just miles ahead of the chasing pack. It's really those two versus, isn't it? And don't get me wrong, I think the battle for top 4 is still very much on. From what I've seen of Tottenham so far, I haven't been impressed at all in any of the games. I've been to 2 of them as well. The fans in the stadium less than pleased with how Pochettino started. They've got injury problems galore, haven't they? Lo Celso's out till November now, so that loan move is looking...
well in our office by the Arsenal fans.
That loan move is looking not as impressive as we first thought, because we loved that move when it first happened. But having said that, I watched the Liverpool game today, and I thought Newcastle put up a bit of a fight. They weren't blown away as I thought they were going to be. They started well, great goal by Jetro Williams, and then Liverpool's quality kind of just showed through. But Newcastle performing better than I thought they would under Bruce. I thought they would be tragic.
Yes, Newcastle's first loss in the last 3 games. Of course, they lost the first 2, then.
I think that it will be tighter than I thought at the start of the season by a distance, with Leroy Sané out until, I think it's March, and now Laporte out until February. I think that's 2 enormous losses. Obviously, they lost De Bruyne for big parts of last year. He's come back and looked, he's probably one of the form players in Europe right now, Kevin De Bruyne. But these 2 players, particularly in that back line, they've only got Otamendi, Stones isn't fully fit yet, and Fernandinho to choose from till February. Which, if I was Guardiola, with the amount of games coming up in the EFL Cup, FA Cup, Champions League, you've got to be slightly concerned about that. But I still think, in attacking areas, they've just got too much firepower. They've got better depth than Liverpool in the midfield, and I still think Man City will win. But I have been really impressed by Liverpool in the last 2 games, particularly that performance at Burnley as well. Bobby Firmino's looked electric. He was obviously rested today, was the idea, then came on quite early on with Origi picking up an injury and set up, I think it was 2 goals he set up. Just the most intelligent footballer in the Premier League.
Oh, more than KDB, more than David Silva.
KDB in that.
Well, the comments are already on
That's
fire.
That's a big shout, yeah.
Will, what is more absurd, that statement or the fact you didn't know Nuno Espirito Santos was a goalkeeper?
For me, I've had a long day, Chris, and you would know me well, so nothing should shock you.
All right, fair play. All right, let's move on to the formations then, Starting with Manchester United, the home side.
Look at those graphics.
So, bit of a makeshift midfield in McTominay, Matic and Mata in that midfield 3.
Horrible.
Pereira's gone out to the right. James on the left. He's actually prospered a little bit more on the left. I heard from Statman Dave today, 5 shots on the left-hand side. None of them have been blocked. So there's a silver lining for you, Joe. What do you make of this setup then?
I really like the back line, other than he who should not be named, but...
just to clarify, that's young.
But that midfield, Nemanja Matic, a 20-minute cameo against Southampton, one of the worst 20-minute cameos I've ever seen. So I'm not sure about Nemanja Matic's role in this Manchester United team. Probably would have preferred to see Jimmy Garner playing in there, but he's not even in the squad. Juan Mata actually looked okay against Southampton. If his role is going to be to pick apart little opportunities against a deep block defence, that's what he's fine at.
Yeah.
Where he struggles is in fast transition, and that is what Man United have kind of specialised in under Solskjaer, in an attacking sense anyway, with Daniel James, Rashford, Martial. Pereira, the misfit. Don't know where he plays, don't know what his best position is.
Yeah, would you have tried Greenwood out there instead?
Would have loved to have seen Greenwood start this game, but clearly isn't ready yet. I think Solskjaer has a lot of confidence in Greenwood, but might not be enough confidence to start a game. But Pereira, I don't get what he adds.
Yeah.
He's played in central midfield, he's played out wide for us, he's played deep midfield even at times under Mourinho, kind of as a pivot. But he's such a confusing footballer. At times he has such great technical ability. We saw Man United's goal of the season last year. But then at other times, he's so wasteful. So he needs to be way more consistent. I've not been impressed with him in a Manchester United shirt so far. And that midfield is worrying, given Leicester's midfield as well.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned it just there about being conservative. Leicester were conservative against Chelsea, and it was sort of their downfall in the opening 45 minutes. However, looking slightly more conservative than one would come to expect, given that second-half performance at Stamford Bridge from this Leicester side. So Chowdhury comes in, Gray on the right for Perez. I would imagine that might go to a 4-2-3-1, maybe with Tielemans playing as a slightly reserved 10 and maybe more of a floating 8. Dougie, what do you make of this?
I'm fairly excited with that lineup. I think Ayoze Perez hasn't really shone in his minutes so far. I don't think Demarai Gray is a world beater just yet, but I think he's probably got more potential if Leicester are trying to counter-attack. I don't think Ayoze Perez is probably the man to break down a defence in that sort of phase of play. But for me, it's all about Vardy. He's got 14 goal involvements under Rodgers in 14 games. I think that's 12 goals and 2 assists. Soyuncu, what an impact he's had. Barely got a minute
Lord
last year.
Farquaad, what a guy.
Exactly, barely got a minute last year after his transfer from Freiburg. But since Harry Maguire left Man United, come into the side, looked really accomplished on the ball. Good tackles and interceptions numbers. Good header of the ball as well. Looks like a leader. So yeah, there's plenty for Leicester fans to get excited for with this lineup.
Yeah, you're right. Soyuncu has been absolutely quality. Brendan Rodgers inherited one hell of a player there. That segues nicely into a little bit of a chat, Joseph, about Harry Maguire. United, statistically, we like to look at the underlying numbers. We like to look at expected goals and expected goals against. Manchester United actually have the tightest defence and are allowing, I think, the opposition, the third or fourth least amount of passes in their box. Have you been impressed with Maguire's introduction? Has it all been about him, this kind of improved rearguard action?
Not all about him. He's definitely been a part of it. Noticed a significantly better distribution from the back with him in the side. I think Wan-Bissaka's been better than him in the opening 3 or 4 games. He's just been an absolute monster for Manchester United. But we've played some rubbish opposition, so I'm not surprised our XG is so good. The teams that we've played, like Crystal Palace, we really should have been smacking about, and they played so conservatively that we aren't really having to take on a lot of traffic.
Yeah. They're not very ambitious, the teams
They're not very ambitious. Wolves haven't been ambitious.
So.
Palace haven't been ambitious. Southampton haven't been ambitious. Leicester today look like they're not going to be ambitious, and I think this is probably a pattern that Man United are going to see, because what's happening is teams are identifying Man United are way stronger on the counter, being able to break against small numbers with their pace, and are just sitting back and going, OK, you're not going to get in behind us, you're not going to be able to run at us with your pace, and then we're going to hit you on the break. And that is something Man United have struggled with a little bit. But having said that, Wan-Bissaka and Maguire have improved us tenfold over the Chuckle brothers, and Heel should not be named.
Yeah.
Well, pretty resounding, that. William, we're about to go over to some other grounds, and I want you to take me through the atmosphere that you can see on screen right now. Starting with Brighton.
Electric.
Look at the sun. The sun down in Brighton.
No, I think it's
I like
been,
the Amex.
Yeah,
Nice
it's a nice stadium, isn't it?
I think it's going to be an interesting one for Brighton today, because I think I had them down for relegation, bottom 3, because I really like Potter as a manager, but when he was at Swansea, it took him like 8 months to implement the system.
He's a bit of a wild card, isn't he, Potter,
Yeah.
in this Premier League season? Agreed, yeah.
So they've started well, but then they've had a few rogue results today, and then obviously Burnley probably started better than expected, but maybe kicking back on from where they were 2 years ago because they haven't got European football. So, to the neutral, it may look a bit boring. I'm actually really enthused by that one.
Yeah, I mean, they've been playing a really interesting brand of football, haven't they? Moving on to interesting brands of football. Sheffield United, Chris Wilder with his overlapping centre-backs. There's one of them there. Basham.
Yeah.
He's been bashing the opposition, hasn't he, Will?
Oh, brilliant.
Love that polite laugh. Thank you, lads.
But no, it has been interesting.
horrendous.
They've literally kept the same system that they had from the Championship, and it's been working well for them. Obviously, they had to do a little rejig at Chelsea, but obviously getting a point. Filming himself, but Southampton.
It means too much to him.
Yeah,
clearly.
Southampton a bit. Who probably come up on the screen in a minute. Needs that first goal.
Struggling he is, mate.
Struggling, yeah.
Struggling.
His XG.
Let's have a look at our
Hello.
predictions next, lads. I mean, that's Mamadou Sakho. Che Adams is definitely his. So I went for a draw with Brighton and Burnley. I think I actually plumped on 2-2. Joseph, you've gone for a Leicester win.
Yep.
Ash, home win. Do you want to touch upon, the rationale for that very briefly, or?
I saw a great stat that Dean Henderson hasn't distributed the ball once into his own box, so Sheffield United just play long every time. So I'm looking forward to seeing some hoofball up there, and I reckon they'll nick a 1-0 win.
And that's why I came
Love
to it.
it.
Knew he had that in his locker. Doogie's gone for a Tottenham victory. Will, I'd love it if Wolves won.
Would you love it?
Pounding Chelsea's misery at the start of this campaign. I do quite like Frank Lampard.
But that
Not
Chelsea
really
lineup
Chelsea.
today, questionable.
Go on, take
He's
us
gone
through it.
3 at the back,
Very
Frank.
quickly.
He's shifted it up from the 4. He's gone 3 at the back. He's matched Wolves up. And he's gone Tomori at centre-half. Marcos Alonso obviously filling in for Emerson, who's injured. So he's playing him as a wing-back with Azpilicueta as a wing-back. And I feel like it's because Azpilicueta... Willian and Tammy are up front.
I mean, Rudiger does return, which is a big plus for them. And Tomori actually made more tackles in one game than Kurt Zouma's made in the entire start of the season, which is pretty damning. He was so good at the tail end of last season for Everton. What has happened to him, Dougie?
Well, I just think it's just a different
Come on then, United.
level of expectation.
And we've kicked off. Carry on, Critchley.
In terms of what he was made to do at Everton last year was basically defend quite deeply alongside Michael Keane. Header, clear. It was quite simple defending, I thought. Whereas at Chelsea, a lot more time on the ball. He's given away a penalty in that game against Man United. He's just looked shaky from the get-go. His distribution hasn't looked at his normal high quality. I don't necessarily think he's a bad player, but he's in bad form. And you'd hope that this change to 5 at the back. I've never seen a Lampard team do it.
No.
It's a big change for him. Normally last year it was just 4-2-3-1 pretty much solidly. This year he's mixed it up with 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3. So big change ahead of a game against Wolves. But
he's gone full Conte.
Wolves, I haven't been impressed that much with Wolves either. They've looked very tired. They've obviously had a massive campaign as well already in the Europa League. I think they've flown something like 7,000 miles already. What was that? In mid-September. And we saw it on the impact of last year with Burnley. And it's not just a cliche. They've got a 21-man squad, Wolves, and it looks like it's paying. They're paying the price for that Europa League adventure. Although fair play to them, getting into the group stages, what an adventure for those Wolves fans. But they need to solidify things in the Premier League.
Torino side in the process. I think they are better equipped than Burnley to deal with it. Of course, Burnley crashing out to Olympiacos, so they didn't even make the group stage, did they? So the impact is going to be more significant on Wolves.
Great ball.
Hello, Joseph. What's happening?
Oh, God!
No, that's a free kick. A free kick.
A penalty in the opening minute.
Unbelievable.
This goal was nearly
Look at this touch by Dan James. Look at this touch by Dan James. This is gorgeous.
What's he
comes inside? Oi, ref!
Pereira knew what he had to do there. He had to take him down. There was a Dan James shot coming in right there.
Yeah, and
what has he been christened? The Hull Robin or something, I'm hearing?
I don't know. I've not heard it.
Well,
but this is a dangerous position.
It is. Ashley Young's standing over it.
probably going to step up.
Great.
We talk about how mediocre he is, but his set-piece distribution probably the best in this team. Rashford loves to waste
I was about
the
to
free kick.
say, I bet it will be Rashford taking it, but he is an awful free kick taker at the moment. I've never seen it anywhere close to
It's
being
an
on
interesting
target.
one. He's changed his technique now.
He's trying to go Ronaldo style.
Well, he seems to have
he's
been
away
that
from
off.
it.
He's
really?
been that off.
the side foot.
And
He's been off the side foot.
And now he's brought back the Beckham whip.
Okay.
So that's great news. Andreas Pereira is the guy placing it down. It does suit him. He, of course, does take a lot of Manchester United set pieces when he's fit, so it could well be him. How about a Maguire, first goal scorer against his old team, silences the Leicester fans in front of his own crowd.
On Slabhead.
Oh, is that woodwork?
Pereira shot.
Pereira went for it.
Oh, Schmeichel looks like he's injured himself as well.
No, Schmeichel's an absolute worry. He's fine.
It's a great effort.
Great effort, yeah.
Great save.
Oh, that's a very good save.
Really good save.
Yeah, good start.
Going top bins, this, isn't it?
Well, we seem to have been suckered into the Manchester United game. You're supposed to be keeping an eye on the other games. Has there anything happened of any note so far?
Tottenham have started brightly at home. Heung-min-son with a low drive that was just dribbled into the goalkeeper's arms. He fell on top of it and he's nearly gone off injured because he caught a ball. So maybe you need to have a look at your sort of fitness before you're going into a game.
All right, fair enough. Pretty damning. Let's go back to the Manchester United.
Harry!
What is that?
Great tackle.
That is an awful
I think
header.
Leicester have 10 men inside the box there. That is how scared they are of Harry Maguire's aerial prowess. Him versus Sionku would be a good one from set pieces because Sionku's won about 70% of his headers this season.
Although Harry will not be beaten aerially.
And
so if you can find it,
if
that's a great
if
save.
their heads collide, I think Old Trafford might just implode. It would just be...
Imagine that. The sparks that would fly.
You really feel like United need a good start after, not really shining so far
And
this
everybody's
season.
hammering him.
At least an attack. An early goal would really calm the nerves. What a save!
Jimmy Maddison!
Oh, James
That is
Maddison.
Lindelof. What is he
What is
doing?
Lindelof?
I've kicked over the water, my mic's come out.
What is
God,
Lindelof doing? But that is a fantastic
That
save.
is so
by De
Route
Gea.
1 as well. Schmeichel kick straight through all the
Both
way.
centre-backs,
Great
no idea.
save, fabulous save.
He's
Two
got-
amazing saves.
God,
in
he's
the first
got
5
lucky
minutes
with
of
that,
the United game.
Lindelof.
Joseph, we're hearing that De Gea might have signed a new contract.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, if it's 4 years,
so lucky.
230 grand a week, give it to him.
What,
But
'cause
two unbelievable saves in the first 5 minutes of the United game.
That's what we want, end-to-end action. From
Kasper
two of the best
Schmeichel.
defences in the
Exciting.
Premier League.
Kasper Schmeichel, unbelievable save, and then De Gea, maybe even better. Both really, really
He also
good.
came in for some criticism, didn't he, in that Southampton game for a near... Oh, no, was it against Palace, sorry?
Palace,
for conceding a goal at his near post
that was
as well,
poor.
which always slightly annoys me because I don't really see the point in why does it make any difference what side you concede it on. If the shot is equally hard, it shouldn't really make any difference. They're trying their best to cover as much of the goal as possible. It's not physically possible.
Actually,
Well, he's still been, for his own lofty standards, bang average since the 2018 World Cup.
Yeah,
really
poor
has.
18 months.
the World Cup's killed his confidence.
But you also feel like he's always played better when his future's really secure, and this new contract, you're just hoping that he comes back to his sort of 2017-18 form, where he's clearly the best keeper in the league by a massive distance. That was the year that I think he made something like 26 saves against Arsenal, was it?
Yeah.
That famous save from Lacazette with his foot. Anyway, we just need him somewhere back to that, because he's also lost his place in the starting 11 for Spain as well. I saw Kepa was starting for them.
Well, talking of future, mate, United's average age this season in their first XI has been around 24, going on 25,
youngest in the league, mate.
which has been one of the youngest in the Premier League. However, a lot of young talent in this Leicester side as well, particularly that midfield. Joe, who would you take from Leicester at current and plot them in the United team?
For me.
He's the outstanding candidate.
Yeah.
Ash, do you agree?
Yes, as well as Ndidi. I'd take him. I'd take Ben Chilwell. I'd probably take Jamie Vardy at this stage. We need a centre forward. I'd genuinely take half that team.
The first one I'd go for, hands down, would be Ndidi by a distance.
Yeah.
Just so he frees Pogba up?
Just so he frees Pogba up.
Well in.
Pogba can.
No, that has to be a penalty.
No.
Yes!
Sionku! Lord Farquhar has let me
come on.
down.
And here we go. This is the pressure. United have missed two already this
I hate it
season.
already. It's going to be Rashford, isn't it?
Rashford's missed one,
This is
hasn't
a pen. This is a pen.
Is it?
he? Yeah, I think it is.
Gets nowhere near the ball.
Looks clumsy, doesn't
Hold
it?
on.
So Rashford's like come across him and he's trying to nick the ball, but he just can't
He
get
knows what he's doing there.
Yeah, it's a foul.
Right, massive
Rashford.
penalty
You
now.
need this
Rashford.
now. You've only won 4 games in the last 12 at Old Trafford in all competitions. You need a good start. If you miss this, Leicester win 3-0.
It doesn't.
Second.
I think you've had.
It doesn't help. We've
four
had
penalties this year and missed 3.
We've
Or missed 2.
We've missed 2 penalties so
VAR
far.
we're going
looking
to
at it.
VAR.
It's going to
No, he's
VAR.
already done it. He's already done the check. It's just for the thing.
Okay.
He just went to his ear and then just confirmed to Tielemans.
Oh, yeah, it is.
That's someone's paying attention.
Rashford.
Stepping up again.
Oh, I can't even watch.
Come on.
Rashford, come on, boy. Come on, Marcus.
Huge moment. Schmeichel's a good penalty saver as well.
But Rashford's actually a really good penalty taker. Previous
He
to the
is.
miss
That Palace
against
penalty is great.
Palace, which
So
was a
unlucky.
good penalty as well, really unlucky not in off the post. He'd never missed a penalty in professional football. So that was his
had
first.
taken
And he's
less
taken
than
You had
10,
shaken
though,
that many, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
but
his
still,
first
oh,
Against
The
PSG,
first one was
it?
PSG.
His first
yeah.
was against PSG. He's got 3
Come on,
against
Rashi.
Leicester. Can he make
Come on,
it
Rashi.
4 right now?
Don't miss.
Yes!
Come on! Yes!
Yes.
The stream
Get on,
is
boy.
officially
Yes!
live and kicking.
We're
We have
off.
our first goal. Marcus Rashford
That's a
is
great
4th
pen.
against Leicester. And
Get in.
I mean, we've had a pretty exciting opening 10 minutes, so much so that I can't get my words out, Critchley.
Yeah, chances at both ends. We obviously had that fantastic save from De Gea. Now Man United have gone up the other end. Soyuncu, it's commentator's curse. We were just praising him for his calmness on the ball he's shown, his good decision making. He gives away a sloppy,
What is he
really
doing?
clumsy penalty.
Oh,
I don't know what.
it's
He's not
clumsy,
even
mate.
trying to go for the ball there.
He doesn't
He's trying to block
need
him
to
off.
extend the leg there
Yeah,
either.
That's good from
what's
Rashford,
cost him,
though,
isn't
isn't
it?
it?
It's the
He's put the
toe.
leg
It's the
across.
toe.
Fair
that's
play to
cost him.
Rashford. He knows it's an understrength Man
Yeah.
United side. The early goal was crucial. He's got it. Man United, Old Trafford, calmed by that early goal.
Yeah, it's 3rd of the season as well for Rashford. Hopefully he can keep that up, keep that form going. Probably should have had 4 if he hadn't missed that penalty.
But he scored this one, Joseph, and that's all that counts. Will, what's going on in the other games? Because normally you're...
I don't think there's been one shot in all 4 games.
So we've picked the right game to watch, then. Excellent.
Yeah, no, nothing going on at
Referee.
all. I'm struggling to think of things to say, and that's, as you know, Chris, very rare for me. Oh, Sissoko maybe having a little stamp there, but I might just be stirring the pot to talk about something.
Yeah, I mean, you've tucked your hands into your sleeve, which
Very
would suggest
tense,
that
yeah.
you're...
I've had too much coffee because my hands are shaking.
Yeah, I mean, if you need to take 5, just let us know, Will. Ash,
I'm good.
talking of 5, how many questions have we got in the comments?
Loads. And do you know what's very interesting?
Feed us
actually? Before the Rashford pen, all the predictions in the live chat have been Leicester win or draw. No one's gone for United win.
So just cynicism across the whole United fan base.
Massive. And everyone, to be
Good
honest.
antidote
Everyone wants to dig United out. But we have a great question from YOLO for Life. If United lose this game, should Ole Gunnar Solskjaer go, and who should replace him?
No.
No, surely not.
That was a
Surely it's
resounding
way-
no from you guys. I mean, this
way
is
too
a
soon.
game he's won one in his last 10 games in the competitions. Like a win here against a very good Leicester side would help his case massively. But do you not think it swings the other way in that you start to have that conversation if he loses this?
Guys to my right.
Mugged
But
off.
I just thought there were so many better options, so many proven options. I just felt like it was a knee.
Yes, and Will Braz is back in the game. Come on, William.
Go on, DJ. Go on,
He
DJ.
scored for Tottenham. Ball was brought down in the box. Thought he should have took it on his right, moved towards the penalty spot, took it on his left, and instead of curling it around the keeper, put it past him on his near post. And it's 1-0 to Tottenham, and he's celebrating with a couple of ounces of water. Do you have water in ounces? I don't think you do.
Lovely. Well done, William. And whilst that was happening, Joseph, United nearly getting in again. What happened?
Dan James, just incredible ball by McTominay. 80-yard cross-fielder, and then Dan James nips inside his man as he always does. Incredible
ball,
ball
how
in.
viral that
There's
was.
nobody on the end of it. Nobody on the end of it
Underrated,
to
that ball.
put it in the net, but fantastic play by Daniel James.
Oh, viral, lovely boy over the top.
Going back to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, just to quickly wrap up that point.
Oh, yeah.
Before all
Go
the
on,
action
mate.
happened in North London. I wouldn't get rid of him just because I don't think there's that many good options available right now. But, I mean, this Spurs goal has eased the pressure. But Pochettino, there were rumblings that he will leave on his own accord in the last 10 days or so. I don't think that's going to happen. But if that does materialise by the end of the season, Pochettino would be fantastic for this United.
Oh, what a strike!
What a strike. Who was that?
Shay Adams, Chris,
Someone in. What's
edge of the box.
You got the floor, Will.
He shouldn't have scored because it was a fantastic effort
Unbelievable.
outside the area. He's not scored all season, could have broke the deadlock. Ball's cleared away from a free kick, it falls to him, swings his leg, sweet strike.
Oh,
but
Sheffield
it hits
United
the
are in.
post.
Oh!
Was that McGoldrick was in there as well? Brilliant save from Angus Gunn.
End
It's
to
end to end. It's kicked off and the coffee started.
William, Adams, like you said, hasn't had a very good start to the season. Being a Birmingham fan, can you give us some insight on him as a player? Do you think it will happen for him sooner rather than later?
Well, I think he's been brought into Southampton to do a lot of the legwork up front. When he was playing at Blues, he played with the two with Jukovic, who was almost like his target man, and they worked really well together, and it was sort of like that rigid 4-4-2. Obviously, under the Southampton manager, it's a completely different system, so maybe the best stats he'll have is in terms of his average distance per game, maybe, rather than his goals this season.
OK, so you think maybe just a bit of a workhorse while he adjusts to life in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Not the worst quality to have, is it? All right, let's go back to this Manchester United and Leicester game. Oh, maybe not. What's happened, Will?
Left-hand side, Dwight McNeil swings one in. It's in the 6-yard box, but it's been flagged offside. Anyway.
Dwight
Sorry
McNeil, who was inexplicably linked with Juventus this summer.
said
Anyway,
that?
moving on. That was official news from multiple media outlets.
Football Daily were all over it.
Euro Football Daily did do a transfer review. Have we got any questions?
Yes, we do. So the question is, well, actually, a question about Norwich and a certain man that Joe is not a fan of, Pookie.
I am a fan of Pookie.
You are?
Everybody says I'm not a fan of Pookie.
Why are you not a fan of
I'm a
Pookie?
fan of Pookie. I just
Why do you hate Pookie?
Why do you hate Pookie?
Very ridiculous.
That's mental.
Does he get into the United team?
What? A ridiculous statement, no.
Hang on, let him finish.
No, that's the question. Does Pookie get into the United team?
No, he doesn't.
Why not?
I'm with Tomlinson there. That's
Why, because he scored 2 more goals than Rashford and Martial.
No, because he's an actual centre forward.
So is Rashford.
Is he?
Yes.
I'm afraid Pookie's not top 9 quality.
No, maybe not, but then...
He's also 29 years old.
Good age.
And Rashford and Martial, we're looking to develop the next...
Pookie's glow up.
Just trying to do Luke 88 justice here with this
Pookie's
question,
Luke.
mate.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Pookie's glow up was akin to Zach Jellab's on Football Daily. He shaved the head, went for the beard. He looked like Casper the Friendly Ghost before. I've never seen someone so pale in world football.
I preferred the old one with the long flowing hair.
What?
Maybe that was just pure jealousy, but
Yeah.
he...
Living
I prefer the
vicariously
old version,
through old
exactly.
Pookie.
Yeah, I've
Yearning
done
for
a
hair
Pookie
once
as well,
more.
but yeah.
Got another good question here from Blondes Are Smart. Do you
Shoot,
think
mate.
McTominay will develop like Declan Rice so that United don't need to spend in January for a
Joe, do you want to take this one, left?
McTominay, probably not to the level Declan Rice. I don't think he's got as high a ceiling as Declan Rice. But great player, really like McTominay. I think he'll be a good squad option for Manchester United. Probably an upgrade area to be had in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Great ball matter.
Great.
I think he's a great squad player, but we shouldn't be pinning our hopes on him as our starting centre midfielder, right?
Definitely. We can have an upgrade in there. He can drop to the bench. But Declan Rice, I think, probably just has a bit of a higher ceiling. I think he's probably a better footballer.
Although, the rumours are going around of a £90 million bid in January. I think that's probably paper talk. But
perpetuated by you on your Football Daily, mate. So.
you got to spin it, you know. But to make him the most expensive player in Premier League history, Declan Rice, have a day off.
That's
Honestly,
mental.
it's a joke.
It's mental,
I think he is a fantastic player, and he might turn out to be a world beater. But at the moment, Declan Rice is fine where he is. I think he's doing a great job in that West Ham midfield. I don't think now is not the time to join Man United.
I don't think people would bat an eyed if it was sort of like 40 mil. I think people would be
no,
like,
exactly that.
next English prospect as
Exactly
defensive midfielder. Not bad. 90 is suddenly catastrophic, isn't it?
Two very sensible opinions there. Will, what's happening in your game? Still
Every
pretty
time
sensible?
I look up at the Burnley game, Dwight McNeil has got the ball, so maybe do stick him in your thumbnails because he's having an absolute blinder. He's whipping some very dangerous crosses in for Burnley, and it's been all of them. And Tottenham nearly had a second. Harry Kane paid a delicate little ball through, and Heung-min-son just missed out before the keeper.
Chowdhury almost getting caught there.
Very
for
lucky
Leicester.
boy there. Pereira was all over him.
Again, I think Leicester have been far too conservative so far.
I mean, in fairness
in
to
this
United,
game, in their starting 11, United have been pressing pretty well. Look how high McTominay is.
United, that is
the
one
ball
thing
very well.
that United have been much better at under Solskjaer is pressing. And they've pressed effectively so far in this game as well, because Leicester is so deep.
Oh, good touch!
Hello.
Oh,
What's happening?
Oh, wow.
that come back off the
Wow. Ball goes up in the air. I think it's Jack Cork that brings it down on the chest, and then he's about to volley it across the face of the goal, and Ashley Barnes, I think, at the back sticks, has got a tap in, but he just hits it right at the keeper. Oh, no, it's a great clearance by the defender, actually. Gets back on the line, it's going in.
That's Dwight McNeil again with the whippers. Mr. Walnut Whip.
Look at that, vintage Jack Cork there.
Vintage Jack Cork, mate, yeah.
Off the
I
line.
mean, Ashley Barnes has been in incredible form this season, hasn't he? 4 in 4, taking over 4 shots a game. We're big fans of him. He's aging like a fine wine, William.
Well,
You know all about that, won't you? You silver fox.
Well, I had a little
anyway,
go up myself.
we got any more questions? Ash, T?
Yeah, from Tudge, do you think Maddison will make a move in January? Anywhere, not just United, do you think he'll get in
I'd
January?
be surprised if they're willing to let him go in January. I think he's so crucial to what they're trying to do there. I think Maddison is one of the most exciting young players in the Premier League. I was really surprised that Southgate didn't give him more minutes over the international break, because for me, he should start as if we're playing a 4-3-3, he should be the advanced midfielder in that 3 for me, over Dele Alli.
Over Dele Alli?
Over Dele Alli at current anyway.
Yeah.
Dele Alli's been
if he
stinking for about a
started in a midfield 3 of, I don't know, a combination of Rice, Henderson and wings, I think that's a potentially most exciting midfield we've had since the retirements of likes of Gerrard and Lampard.
Yeah.
So I was surprised that he didn't get more minutes, and I love Maddison.
Yeah, if he was at a top 6 team right now, he'd be starting for England.
He would.
But that is the top 6 phobia, isn't it? Like,
I thought that sort of gone a little bit, though, hadn't it?
Give it.
Well, now Leicester have cleared it, gentlemen. Let's get our first price boost, and Joseph's going to love this one. It is Dan James to score the next goal at 10-1 odds.
Ref has
Obviously
got it.
accurate at the time of recording. You have to be 18 to bet, Will. When the fun stops, stop. Check the website for more details. But there it is, 10-1.
Can you get a 12-1 if he does the arms folded celebration in front of the Stretford?
Great seller. That is one of the best. I think that might be the best image of the Premier League season. Full stop. Might as well just retire that now. Rashford and Martial. Both 2 young players grabbing someone of relatively similar age, saying, "What are you doing?"
You wouldn't even do that
Showboating
under
a
13s.
draw at the current.
He got a lot of stick for that, and that was like such a split-second thing that he just did a celebration and he was about to turn and then
Says
got
a lot about him,
dragged
really.
back.
Swansea instincts. He's still a young lad, isn't he? Like,
Yeah.
Who would begrudge him as well? I mean, he's hit the ground running in the Premier League. His shots, I think, are only topped by Rashford in this team at the moment. His key passes and dribble, I think he's only completed about 15% of his dribbles, which isn't great, and his key passes are pretty low. But for a start in the Premier League, you couldn't really have asked for more. And it's all going really well for him. And after a really tough summer where he lost his dad, I mean, who would begrudge him like the start that he's had to Man United? So.
Yeah, he seems like a lovely lad as well.
Yeah.
That puppy video absolutely melted my
Oh,
heart.
that's brilliant, isn't it?
I do have a Dan James related question for you though. Okay,
it quiz?
whoever gets this first gets the
quiz?
Twix that's on the floor. Other chocolate bars are available. You ready? So, if he scores today, he'll be only the second player
Ole Gunnar
to score.
Solskjaer.
Okay, well done, Joe.
Ruin it.
Presented a show this morning. Wouldn't even play along.
Unbelievable.
Where's my Twix?
There you go.
No fun, Joe.
Give him 2 fingers.
Here we
What?
go.
Out of Context Football Daily there, coming to the fore. Give him 2 things. Let's have a couple of questions then, instead of fingers. Right, go on.
Yes. Favourite kit of the season? Michael Akintunde says, Joe, that is a fantastic shirt you got on.
Shout out, Michael.
What is your favourite? Let's go Premier League. What's your favourite Premier League
what the
kit
hell's
of the
happened
season?
with Peru?
Sorry, Doug.
Got to be. I think it's so smart. And I think Arsenal have gone through a pretty dodgy patch recently with kits. So I'm really enjoying the new Adidas links they've got going.
Yeah, it's lovely.
He is an authority on kits. So if he says they've been going for a dodgy patch, they've been going for a dodgy patch.
Well, I've got some dodgy kits myself, to be fair.
Tottenham's new third kit coming in as a late
that's lovely, isn't
contender.
it? It's the old Nike logo, that's what
Matic, man. I've had enough of him
What
already.
I like about that kit is the top button.
Who's this?
I love the top button. Tottenham's new third
The
kit.
blue one. Oh yeah.
Dukes, what do you make of the kits I brought in today? Have you seen them? Are they
No, I
like
haven't.
Are they there?
Oh, I saw a little baby one.
Yeah, that's
That's our
kit.
half-time feature.
my kit.
Can Ash still fit in
Yes, I can.
That was a late 90s number you were rocking.
It was,
back
mate,
then.
yeah. All the shirts I had as a kid, I brought them in.
And do you know, we had a little bit of a reveal today.
Oh, well done.
Will Brazier actually used to be a Manchester United fan
It doesn't surprise me.
until 1999, at which stage he started starting.
Will, my respect for you was there. No more.
I've said it on multiple outlets before, just not been picked up by Reuters, so I'm surprised.
Exclusive.
He stopped the year United won the treble. He thought it's peaked. Next thing.
How smart of that is an 8-year-old boy to do? Won the treble. Has it got better since, Chris? Answer my question. Has it got better
To
since?
acknowledge as an 8-year-old, when was that moment of self-reflection? When did you think, actually, I should be
Sorry,
supporting
is that
my
2-0
local
Tottenham?
team?
Yeah.
Tottenham, brilliant.
Oh, here we go.
Cheers, mate.
Well, you've
I've lost
embarrassed
it.
yourself today.
Serge Aurier has
Shocking
scored
Aurier.
what could be described as the goal of the season. When I see a replay, it's 2-0 to Spurs. Ball worked from the middle. Heung-min Son's been at the forefront of all the action. What's it?
Hold on, Will.
Has he scored from here?
Oh,
Oh, gee. Is that Paddy?
Shocking.
Bad
Van
OG.
Arnold?
It probably is, Paddy.
Paddy.
Leicester were progressing nicely there down the left wing with Damari Gray, who looks like he's
Dan.
swapped wings.
Go, Dan.
But back to Leicester in the middle of the park with Yuri Tielemans. Joe, how's the last 5 minutes of this game gone? Because we've been talking about Ash getting into his child's kits. Ash doesn't have a child, to be fair. His kits as a child. Will's, change from Birmingham to Manchester United. How's this game been going?
I think Man United have started really well against Leicester. I think Leicester maybe have been a bit surprised at Man United's quality on the ball and in the press. But what you're seeing now is Leicester just starting to find a bit of a foothold. They seem to have settled down in the game a little bit, using some really nice crossfield passes. The trouble is that Damari Gray is sort of playing on this left-hand side, which I think is an odd choice. Rashford has just rinsed Soyuncu there.
Rash.
But
If you're going to switch wing, you better hope that Aaron Wan-Bissaka isn't on the other wing. Go on, mate.
It's Tottenham song, it's Heung-min Son. It's 3-0. Palace had started the game really, really well, but that has all fallen to pieces within a matter of minutes. Heung-min Son so composed when he gets in front of goal, cutting from the left. This time it's on his right, and he's bent it round the keeper this time. Roy Hodgson looks like a sad old man, which I'd never wanted to see because I do quite like him. 3-0 Spurs.
Okay.
wow,
What a start.
it's going to be a battering.
That is a flying start.
Really made up for missing that last goal there. That was very well executed, Will.
It's a great goal.
Finish.
It's a great goal. It's drifted over from the right-hand side. Heung-min Son's caught it first-time volley, and he's put it underneath the keeper.
Let's have a look at that.
Serge
back way
causing
there.
all problems from the right-hand side. Let it drop down. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
It's slightly surprising as well because Crystal Palace going into this game had conceded the fewest goals in the league. They'd had clean sheets against Everton and I think Villa when they won 1-0 in controversial fashion with Grealish denied that penalty, and obviously got that win against United, which was, I would argue, a bit of a fluke result considering the amount of shots they conceded. Expected goals did not have it anywhere close to that result. And I actually tipped Crystal Palace to go down at the start of this year, so they've started well. But
They have been riding their luck.
they've been riding their luck, and their lack of forward threat, you just think that this is game over for. I can't see them
Mate,
anywhere.
Benteke Renaissance is coming.
Leicester
It's
breaking
coming.
it. It's a good chance.
Most statistically unlucky striker in world football.
Yeah,
It's a great challenge.
Can I just
really
say
good
as well, Soyuncu is having a nightmare against Rashford. Rashford is, I think he might have been booked just now, I'm not sure whether he was, but Rashford is just sprinting. Struggling badly against Rashford's pace.
Oh, well in McTominay.
Well in,
Talking
gosh.
about
Struggling badly, Tomlinson. Leicester are still struggling with United's press. And is that Ben Chilwell that's been caught by a crunching tackle there? Possibly
crunching
from
Scott
McTominay.
McTominay challenge.
crunching tackle
Proper
from McTominay.
50-50 this is. Old school. Not
Yeah,
particularly
holds
pretty, but a big 50-50 by
big
old
old tackle.
Scottish Scott. So, yeah, United have been all right, but Soyuncu needs to sort it out quickly because Rashford's just turning it up a little bit, and he's so hard to stop.
Well, like
when
we
he's
said,
at full pace.
Like we said at the start of the show, second half against Chelsea, free-flowing football, James Maddison absolutely bossing the game. Similar to last season against Manchester City, when Leicester get passing, there's very few teams that are as good as them in the Premier League, particularly in the final sort of third with the players they've got, especially arriving from midfield. But in this game, yet to see them really put any meaningful moves together.
Yeah, they've struggled to
United
get
really getting them
They
destroyed.
can't really get hold of the ball.
One of the battles that I'm particularly enjoying is Daniel James versus Ricardo Pereira. I'd say it's quite even at the moment, but that is, I think, crucial at the moment. All of United's attacks seem to be going down the left, really.
Nice.
Oh, what a save! Oh my God, what
wow.
a save!
Well, Will, take us through it, Will.
Dean Henderson.
Deep ball from the right-hand side. Cedric whips a fantastic ball. They're still playing and it's cleared away. And I think it is Boufal with the header. It definitely wasn't Shea Adams. And it's a fantastic save from Dean Henderson.
Oh my God,
He's got
what
it.
a save.
It's bouncing in and he's got it up and away from the goal.
It's like Gordon Banks's against Pele. This
Really?
one, not quite to that level, but imagine that. We're bouncing down, it's coming back up, and he managed to flick it over the bar.
Sort of.
Gordon Banks versus Pele is what I've just called it, which, having not seen a replay yet, could be a risk.
Yeah, it could be a very, very...
There you go, top right though, about to see it now. It felt like it in real time though.
And if you felt it, that's all that matters.
Exactly,
Will.
yeah.
And that's why we love this game.
Oh, that was a really good
Not
save.
quite Gordon Banks.
That's a really good save, though.
But it is an exceptionally good save.
No, but you had us on strings until the
Seriously
replay
exceptional
was confirmed.
Is he still
That's a top
It's
save.
bounced in front of him.
United.
No, it is quite
Still,
modest like that.
it's a decent
That
height.
angle didn't
It'll
do
be good. It's a
anything.
decent
There
height
it goes,
for him.
wasn't
yeah.
it?
James Ward-Prowse again with the ball. One of the best crosses of the ball in the Premier League, I'd
Yeah,
say.
he is.
Fantastic
Yeah,
over a
great
dead
over a
ball
dead
and
ball.
great crosser.
Oh, United need to put some longer studs on, slipping all over the gaff.
Right, there's some action unfurling in other games. We've had a yellow card in the Brighton-Burnley game. Been long overdue from Sean Dyche's men. That's what we love.
Aaron
about
Lennon as
them,
well,
you know,
probably
look,
the most surprising.
Bit of a dive by Glenn
always
Murray.
looking to kick out. And we had a brief injury scare with Danny Rose. Did you happen to catch that, Will?
No, I didn't catch that one, sorry, mate. I
he's
think
up
there was
now.
the
That's
action.
a bad
action
pass.
going. The only game that's had nothing so far is the Wolves versus Chelsea game, which I said,
Shock, horror, Wolves at home, boring.
which has had nothing. So, like Joe said, Chelsea matching them up 3 at the back today with the wing backs, but yeah, nothing of nothing. Barkley on the bench as well, starting both games for England, and not even a sniff at.
I mean, that is probably the correct decision. I don't
Go on,
know
DJ.
Go on, Dan.
who he'd come in at the expense for in that
That's
Chelsea
fantastic
team.
from Ndidi.
Mason Mount's probably been their
He's
most
isn't he?
productive player at the start of the season, hasn't he? Playing on that left-hand side or in
Just
the
mad he
middle.
starts for England, doesn't it?
Oh, come on, Leicester.
Is that himself, though, DJ?
Will, come on.
Let me
Why would Barkley start?
Oh, Daniel James is down. What's happened?
Not much. I think it's just a bit of a 50-50, and he comes out slightly the worse for wear with Wilfred and Ndidi.
Schmeichel's absolutely fuming, and he tends to do this with players that he knows have a reputation going to ground easily.
The reason he's...
Oh, come on, Daniel James. Get down the gym, Joe. What's happened there?
He just gets tripped up, doesn't he? Like, he catches his back of his leg. But the reason he's fuming, I think, is that
Rolled over 3 times.
they brought it back
They're on the
when
break.
they're on the break.
They're on the break, exactly. Vardy was through.
Vardy, well, I think he was going into Madison's feet,
he was going
actually,
up a lot.
So why has he stopped that if it's not a head injury?
Oh!
Yeah, you shouldn't, right?
Willian?
I don't think.
Willian shuffles on to his right!
I tell you who's furious, Kolo Touré, Leicester's coach. Took him down from Celtic. One of the moves that really
Did
hurt
not
me.
know who was a coach now.
One of the moves that really hurt. More so than Brendan Rodgers leaving, I'd argue. Thank you, Will, for your support. So I really, really appreciate that.
Go on, Scott.
You've got very soft hands.
Have I?
Not in a hard day's labour in your life.
United are really pressing Leicester out of game here. Leicester can't really cope with the press at the moment.
Damari Gray's made little
left
impact. Tielemans is starting to get
That
the
looked
ball a little
nasty,
bit.
that
Oh,
looked nasty,
hello.
didn't it?
James Maddison putting it through someone's legs there.
That looked a
gonna
little
go
bit
VAR.
nasty by Scott McTominay.
It looked like he left
Left one
the
on
foot
him
in.
there.
He plays in a very similar fashion to you,
Maddison's
Tomlinson.
Oh, where you want to be
Yeah,
shooting
he
from.
does.
Hamza
Erratic.
Chowdhury breaking into the area. This is
Great run.
nosebleed territory for him there. Leicester win a corner.
But
Come on.
Good clap from you. Come on, City.
little nasty tackle one with Scott McTominay, and I
Yeah,
know
I
that
was looking at
VAR are
this,
looking
yeah.
to pick up on this sort of thing. So I don't know whether they'll go back for it, but it looked like he left one quite late on
Good
him.
bit of thigh, though, from the Scotsman there.
That move
right.
all came from Maddison's sort of quick feet just at the edge of the box, interchange with Chowdhury, took it down the wing, goes out for a corner, and now we've got Maddison, one of the likewise, like Ward-Prowse, one of the best crosses of a dead ball in the Premier League. Soyuncu up from the back, Evans.
And United are
Potentially
terrible.
1-1.
United are terrible from set pieces. Saw it against Southampton as well. United are not good from set pieces.
Observation.
Go on.
You know, the last time we were together, we were watching Arsenal Spurs. Davinson Sanchez.
Oh,
my
what a
lordy.
save! Ben Chilwell.
Didn't even know it was free.
What
His old
is going
school
on?
haircut and an old school effort from distance.
And another brilliant save by De
Good
Gea.
stop, De Gea.
Joe, what's happened there, mate?
I mean, Ben Chilwell's just hit it from 30 yards and it's going in. But it's a brilliant save.
Oh,
by De
it's a
Gea.
great
That's
stop.
better than
That reminds
anticipated.
me, niche recollection here, Danny Rose in the Carling Cup against Arsenal.
That-
Oh, yeah.
That is just
One of the
like
best
that.
strikes.
That's
Clearly,
unbelievable, that.
obviously didn't go in,
I
but
think
what
Danny
an
Rose's
effort.
was from another 15 yards out.
I think it
Yeah.
potentially was.
And I
it
think
was
it
on
was
his
a
debut.
volley as well.
I think it was
Full volley,
it was on his debut as well, but what a
What
hit
we've
that was.
determined there.
Go on,
was
DJ.
very-
Get after that, Dan James.
Oh, God, he's
It's left backs from distance.
Dan James is so far.
Been to you in a little while, Ashton. What's
Yes.
happening in the comments section? And if you're, have a burning question, then please let us know. If you're not subscribed, subscribe
it
to
in.
both Football Daily and Soccer M. Drop it in, like the big
Drop
man
it in
says.
the comments.
Go on,
Get
Ashley, kick
involved.
us off, mate.
Oh my God! What a goal! Is that Tamori?
Oh my God, it
Tamori has scored from about 35 yards out. If it's made a deflection, I'm going to look like an idiot, but it sailed into the top corner. Honestly, 35, could be 40. He stepped up from the back. He's got a foot like a traction engine, to use a phrase from somewhere else. It's come back
Can't
to
wait
him.
for this.
This
Look
is
at
the
this.
most excited I've ever
can't
heard.
wait
you
Look at
sound.
this. Don't hit it. Don't hit it. Ben.
Oh, what
wow.
a goal!
I mean, that was pure culture.
Look at that.
That's unbelievable.
That's
What a goal!
That is prime Perlo. He's absolutely stroked
a
that.
goal.
Side foot.
It's not. It's power. It's whip. It's bend. It's everything. It's delightful. And that game had
Oh
nothing.
my Lord, that is one of the goals of the season.
That's like a
What
Gerrard
an
strike. I
introduction.
remember
And
Gerrard hitting something like
First
that.
ever, one of his first Premier League appearances.
This is his
Pulled
first
that out.
start.
This must be
No,
his
his
first
first
start.
start. It's his first
No,
start.
he started against Sheffield United.
Oh my God.
And I also think he's changed allegiance from Canada
Yeah.
to England.
Get in there. What a day.
Get in there, boys.
What a day. But yeah, fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Blimey.
up there.
But
Wow.
That didn't even look like a
Nonchalant.
like a half chance, did it?
No.
No.
That was executed beautifully. That was like VJ Singh on the PJ Tour.
And Chris, and what technique he had.
Reference, love
yeah,
it.
what a
reference.
Did not think VJ Singh was going to come up with the football section. Love
He
it.
was my player of choice. And then we have
be
it.
sat at home
We
watching-
were actually with Ash before Will. I mean,
Sorry,
that is the most.
No, mate, it's all right.
That is the most you've celebrated
it.
on a football social,
I
and
think it is.
rightly so as well.
Yeah,
I was
well,
really
I did
hoping
it-
the shout was justified. It was.
Yeah, I did it at the start of the season for a Harry Wilson goal, which retrospectively was deflected, so I just looked like a fool. But thankfully that went straight in.
Yeah.
Straight
I
in.
mean, recompense there. Go on then, mate.
Well, I've got a question. They're not playing today. It's actually for Arsenal. Next, they're playing tomorrow against Watford away. What do you think about Arsenal so far this season?
Critchley, would you like to take this,
from
mate?
Wolfie
Yeah, sure.
XY.
I really enjoyed the North London derby. I think it's my favourite game of the year so far. Not necessarily because of the brilliance of both teams, but just because they were so open in like many respects. Arsenal, I think Nicola Pepe has played well in patches, but still some of his final balls slightly lacked. I think David Luiz has just been exactly what you'd expect, like, passing excellence, but the usual sort of fallibility under Emery. Guendouzi started really well, although I thought some of the praise.
Goal! Sorry, Doogie.
No worries.
It's
Tammy alert.
Chelsea. Tammy Abraham has done it again. The goals do not stop. The ball was bouncing around in the 6-yard area, and Tammy Abraham with a poacher's finish underneath the keeper. And Chelsea had started slowly, but now they've come alive. Wolves 0, Chelsea 2.
Oh, Frank was thirsty then, and we were thirsty for goals,
Lion.
and we've got them at Molineux. And Wolves, at the start of the season, pretenders to the 6th place position.
Tomori there?
Yeah,
and
is that Tomori?
And they're getting blown apart now.
Tamori, can I just say, has made that goal. It's like a 30-yard charge upfield, isn't it?
Yeah, no, Tamori again must have the wind beneath his
Touch there by
sails.
Tammy, innit?
That's a really good.
It's a good finish, that, isn't
Yeah, a
it?
bit of a scramble coming off the left.
Instinctive.
But look at this run by Tamori. You can pick that up from centre half.
We'll save any more action. Let's go back to Critchley, who was discussing Arsenal.
What was I talking about? Yeah, I was talking about Guendouzi in that Spurs game, who was getting high praise, which I totally agree with. I thought he was Arsenal's best midfielder on the day by distance. But You know, he also gave away the ball for Xhaka's penalty, putting his team under slight pressure there. So I still don't think he's the finished article piece, but look, really exciting this year. And I think there's more to come. But it's just the same old things holding Arsenal back. It's individual defensive errors. Some of Socrates and David Luiz's defending against Liverpool was really iffy. Same against Spurs, but Tierney's now back in full training. I think Bellerin's now back as well. Holding coming back soon. Now Emery seriously has quite a deep squad in lots of areas. And I think for Arsenal fans, you can be reasonably excited about the season ahead, especially considering the weaknesses of United, Spurs and Chelsea at times.
I mean, the issue is they're going to have Europa League.
Yeah, those fullbacks coming back is necessary. Let me hit you with some numbers, Ash. 13.1 shots they were conceding on average per game last season. 16.4 in the opening 4 games this season. Only 3 teams have conceded more. Hello!
Oh,
Leicester, dangerous whip.
That was
in
dreadful.
There. No one.
That was a
no
dreadful
one in the
ball.
box. It was. I oversold it. I saw the replay. It was bad. And Damari Gray, that's exactly the sort of thing that keeps him out of the side, unfortunately, at current. Not a lot of end product in his, fledgling Leicester career. But yes, Arsenal need to shore up defensively. Their attack, they've got an embarrassment of riches, haven't they? Guendouzi hopefully should help protect that back four until Tierney and Bellerin are ready. But Arsenal recently put a clip out on their YouTube. Him about 6 times in training because he's an absolute beast, and he's going to be Arsenal captain in about 18 months. So, and I'll have to buy the shirt, and I will cry.
Final point on Arsenal
During the first wear.
Lacazette, big loss. He's out for a month.
Yeah, he is.
That's a very good point.
But supposedly, according to George and Pato in the office, they've chosen this month. It's been a long-standing issue, and they've chosen this month due to the ease of their fixtures. But I think he's going to miss 6 games.
Sounds like something.
One of them is Man United, I think.
I think one of them is Man United.
Who's going to come in? Reece Nelson?
Sorry?
Will Reece Nelson come in on the left and have
played quite a bit as well.
The last time Reece Nelson started, 0 chances created. I think 1 tackle, and then Nicholas.
He got hooked at half time. That's
if he gets
Burnley.
it again. Yeah.
And you can tell Aubameyang's with Lacazette. I think he's so happy to play on the left all the time.
Joe, what happened there with Ashley Young, mate?
I just giving the ball away needlessly. Go on then, Dan, run him.
Oh my God. Is that Wilfred Ndidi? Not many people go past Wilfred Ndidi like that. Dan James ultimately did not come out with the ball on the ball. And it's made me look really silly there. Will, anything silly happening in these other 3 p.m. kickoffs?
Yeah, Sheffield United should be 1-0 up. There was a ball whipped into the back post, and David McGoldrick stuck a leg out about 3 yards away, right at the far post, but he put it wide. Still 0-0 in that game, and it's just all Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham Hotspur? Maybe that's the Danish version.
Why so big? How are you so big?
You what, sorry?
Look at the output. You're massive.
Hello. How are you?
You look like your little brother.
Bit of forced perspective there, making Ash look like a borrower.
But yeah, no, it's all Tottenham Hotspur, and it could get really nasty.
It could get nasty.
Chris, Tierney.
Ashty.
I was speaking to a Rangers fan who said he can quite easily be as good as Robertson. Is he that level?
Yeah, I think he's probably got a higher ceiling than Robertson. Like his pedigree is much better than Robertson's. Robertson won Young Player of the Year whilst he was at Dundee United.
Oh, good.
Tierney's been captain for club and country by the age of 20. And so I think Celtic fans had a very similar opinion of Van Dijk when he left. I think we didn't know he was going to reach the level of being a £70 million player, but playing pretty comfortably in the Premier League's elite. And I think Tierney's pretty similar. I think Arsenal have got fantastic value for money at 25 million for a guy who, if he avoids injuries, could be their left back for the next 10 years. Yeah,
really?
Hopefully he'll be back.
He
at
does
Celtic.
have a quite a checkered injury.
Back at Celtic when he's 33. Yeah, but he's also back in training after a double hernia operation. 6 weeks later.
Lot of room for Leicester. Great defending.
Please say that was a block.
No, it wasn't.
So yeah, long story short,
Damari.
He's going to be an absolute beast.
Get this by Damari Gray. Can we just all can he run it? Just a instance of Damari Gray's quality, yeah?
Is he going to? Oh well.
The corner.
Was that a deflection? No. Not a corner.
Oh,
that went straight out, did it? That went
really
straight
bad
out.
cross.
He's trying to pretend that his hamstring went, but it just hasn't.
That's the Birmingham in him.
I mean, if Iose Perez had started the season in more in more convincing fashion, he would not be getting the start today.
Where is that?
Yeah.
Why has he been
He's on the
dropped?
bench.
The
Yeah.
main one, Harvey Barnes. Is he injured?
No, I think he's on the bench.
Get him on.
Yeah.
Goal of the month, Harvey Barnes.
Oh, what a
Unbelievable
strike.
young
Oh
player.
my
Looks
God.
electric whenever he's played. I think deserved to have started this game.
I couldn't agree more with you, Critchley.
Totally agree.
I think it's a weird decision from Rodgers, but he does know football more than me, so we'll see.
But I don't know whether he trusts.
Has he? Does he?
Trusts Harvey Barnes to play as sort of that second striker. I think maybe he just thinks Damari could, because he's not playing natural wide men, is he?
But Damari Gray's defensive output isn't necessarily high. Like I don't understand. Oh, okay. Manchester United nearly sneaking in there. Leicester sweeping up at the back. Will, was there any point coming over to you?
No.
You've gone quiet again. Okay, let's go over to Ashton for another question.
Yeah, on Wilf Zaha from Crayman222. Where should Wilf Zaha go?
I've got a random request. Well, not a request.
Does it relate to this question? Or?
No,
Oh,
I
okay.
need the toilet. No, I think
Please, Miss.
I was thinking, what about Bayern Munich?
It's not a bad shout, yeah.
No.
I'm not
I
sure
don't-
he's
why
that
not?
level.
I don't think Bayern would be willing
What
to
a pass.
It's a lot of money.
partake in the transfer
Too early.
fee. Yes, which would have to be at least 70 million. You'd anticipate.
And they want.
I think he signed on till 2022 at Palace, isn't he, or 2021? So they're in a strong position to
They want
negotiate.
Sane as well, don't they?
He's
That's
in a
it,
bit
yeah.
of a tricky position with
cheaper than
Zaha
Son,
because if he acts like if he sulks and
Sacked his agent. this
and
week as well.
Palace have clearly said they want 75 million plus. If he sulks, no.
Go! Tammy!
Oh,
Tammy!
Tammy
Tammy!
again!
Lovely ball in from.
Wow.
It's been dinked back in. The cross was recycled. I think Marcus Alonso from the left. Little dink. Tammy rises, and it's another fantastic striker's
Wow,
finish.
Tammy.
Header into the
Abraham.
top corner.
Tammy's sick for the season.
Is that 6 in 3, his last 3 Premier League games as well?
Yeah.
Having the doubt as
Yeah,
well.
and he'd scored against opposition that had came up prior to this, so people were still being a bit cynical. One of them on
Have
the,
a look at this
the
as
far
well.
right of this so far, but it's 2 goals against a very good Wolves side, so more power to him. Let's have a look at this, Will. Explain it to us.
Alonso stands one up.
Oh, such a good
Tammy
header.
Abraham in front of his defender, doing everything right.
Connor Cody.
Like Connor
Terrible
Cody's
defended by
marker, I was
Connor
just about
Cody.
to say.
What a ball from
Why?
Alonso.
It's a second ball phase, and
That's what he's good at, though,
got in there
Too
faster.
much space for a number 9 in that area, though.
That's a great ball, Madison.
And Wolves still haven't won a game this Premier League season, and 3-0 down at half time. It doesn't look like they'll be doing that today.
As a
Europa League.
Birmingham fan, things you love to see. Oh, another goal, Will.
Goal! Eric Lamela!
4-0.
The Argentinian prince has scored for Tottenham. It's 4-0 now. And as we said, Crystal Palace have got a fantastic defensive record until today. It has been absolutely blown apart. Eric Lamela on the score sheet. He's been very lively all day. The fans at the Spurs ground are going to sample those wonderful delights as they go into half-time
This
with that
could
lovely
be
new...
4-0 at half time.
Oh, a bloody...
Oh,
Hello.
no!
Oh, this could be a cricket score, William, which is, ironic as you can watch cricket. You can enjoy the Ashes now on Sky Sports. However, we'll get onto that later. I'll go through the goal. That's a lovely whip ball from Harry Kane, was it?
Yeah, Harry Kane doing what he does well, dropping off Son to Kane. That front three devastating, and at the back post, Eric Lamela with a simple tap in.
Harry Kane.
He's done it on the reach, but 4-0. Your man Sacco not having the best of days either.
And this is where people don't I think underestimate Harry Kane's passing ability. That is
Yeah,
a
that's brilliant,
glorious
isn't it?
It's a lot
cross.
of
That's
it,
like a
isn't
KDB little whip to the back post, and people think he's not the most mobile forward. And
33-year-old Gary Cahill trying his best there, but just too good a ball.
Is this?
4-0.
Wow.
This could be bad. Like I think this is
bad
what we
for
expected
Palace.
Crystal Palace to be at the start of the season. isn't
But we
it?
also, I think, thought that Tottenham were gonna.
yeah,
a fair
it's
few
not
passes
really
today.
clicked with Tottenham yet, has it? And it seems to be at this game to Roy Hodgson's, peril.
Yeah.
What were we discussing before that? I think it was
Sorry,
your
no.
fine self again.
It was Zaha.
Critchley.
I was just saying that he's in a difficult position because Palace have set their stall out 75 million, and if he sulks or if his performance levels not where it was last year, which was pretty good. I think it's 50. Will about Bayern Munich. I think they've really set their sights on Leroy Sané. Obviously, that injury puts pay to that immediately, but I think next summer they'll still go back from again.
Yeah.
I'm not sure Zaha's Bayern Munich level, to be honest.
No.
I'm not even totally sure he's top 4 level. As fantastic as he is at dribbling, I think his end product sometimes questionable.
They're
I
just
think
smarter than that, aren't they, Bayern?
But I don't
Yeah.
think his output exceeds that of Kingsley Coman or of Serge
Gnabry.
or of
Yeah.
Serge Gnabry. They are waiting to spend
Matter.
an absolute fortune
with
on
Serge
Leroy Sané.
Gnabry, 2-3 years ago, he couldn't even get off the West Brom bench.
It's true.
Do you know what I mean?
Mental,
it's
isn't
true.
it?
But I do think he deserves. Palace fans will hate me for this, but he deserves a big move.
Yeah.
or at least a move to a bigger club.
But I think
then will Everton go? Now they brought in Iwobi, £40 million quite late on. Can't really see that going. I don't really see where his club is, to be totally honest. You could try.
But Chelsea.
Try abroad.
What about Chelsea?
China, he could have a good time.
Chelsea when the money's freed up.
Potentially, but then you brought in Mount, who can play wide. You brought in Pulisic.
I mean,
they're definitely going to want to wing.
Normally, when a player who's got a massive fee hanging over his head has ran out of options, it's PSG, isn't it? But I think PSG are pretty sorted along their front line. So
they probably just buy him and put him on the books.
And like Doogie said, it's going to be. In this Palace side, it's going to be really hard to replicate that form last season that warrants that paying that sort of money. Oh, Manchester United getting hit in here down the left-hand side.
What about? No.
And is that Daniel James overhitting it, or Manchester United getting a corner, James?
No, I think he missed it on his left. But either way, coming up to half-time now, last sort of 10 seconds before we get some added time.
Oh, great.
And it's been quite an even game, Man United-Leicester, as we expected, quite an even game. Leicester just aren't really creating anything.
I was about to say, it's been quite controlled, other than that De Gea save with his...
That's a worldie effort,
early on. And obviously that great save from Chilwell, but Leicester haven't really challenged De Gea that much, at least in the last 10, 15 minutes. No, meandering towards half-time.
I'm a little bit disappointed that they kind of set their stall out to be a little bit more defensively minded than their playing personnel warrants.
But I think this is ideal for United. Like, United have done this pretty much. Is it every
Leicester have an awful record against United. The last 20 fixtures, they've won 1.
Yeah, everybody's got an awful record.
Lost
and then
15.
Everybody's got an awful record, and then suddenly, like at the moment, records being shattered left, right, and centre. Like negative ones for United because we just.
Yeah, Palace's first one at United since 1989.
Yeah. And all those Ferguson records, they just don't hold up today this season. They're just going. So.
Oh, go on then, Hamza, please. Oh, he's gone.
Lack of quality.
It's not bad with his swinger.
Absolute swinging and a just uses that to climb the stairs, does Hamza?
Yeah.
I like that.
He could have had a touch as well.
I like him. Good player. Not necessarily who you want it to drop to in the box.
Joe,
no, yeah.
Daniel Gardner has asked, can I take Tomlinson up on his Pookie bet still? What was the bet?
5 goals, I think it was.
I think it's already broken.
I said 5, he's already beat it.
Lovely pass.
So Daniel Gardner, no, you can't. Sorry, mate.
What? I don't know what the Pookie bet was, Daniel. Let us know what the Pookie bet was in the comments below. I think I just basically said that he wouldn't score 5, didn't I?
I think you did say that. It does sound like something you say.
But I don't think I put anything against. I don't think I put anything against it. I think it was just said in the hot takes.
Yeah,
okay, one last big chance for Leicester then, who look like they're going to pump it into Man United's box from long. Sionku, get your head on this. He's not. He's gone to Damari Gray on the right, who's going to
cut back.
James Maddison. What a roundabout way of getting the ball into the box there, and it's gone out for a throw-in. What's happened in the other games at the end of the half, William?
Yeah, so Brighton were pushing really strongly. I think it was Solly March on the right-hand side, and Nick Pope's made 2 fantastic saves in the first half, down at his near post. You know, when the player cuts in on the left, tried to do him on the near
Maddison's
post.
rinsed him.
But Nick Pope's made some fantastic saves, and Southampton have been looking a lot more lively in that game, but it's still 0-0.
Yeah, Leicester could be a bad injury down there.
Leicester actually growing into this game, but far too late.
I think James Maddison might have hurt himself.
Hopefully not.
Oh, not King
because, I mean, who have Leicester got as a replacement in that number 10
He's just kind
position?
of gone down in a lump, and he's not moved, and everybody's walked off for half-time.
No, he's okay.
He's okay.
He's okay. Hopefully he's okay, because he would be central to a comeback from Leicester, wouldn't he, gentlemen? So...
he just gets one in the eye.
Oh, he's fine.
OK, the game has ended. Do we think Leicester changed things round at half-time, gentlemen? Formation, players?
Yeah, I'd maybe try and push Maddison more centrally. He's played a lot on the left, although he finished that half playing quite sort of far on the right. I mean, the thing about James Maddison is you can play as a 6, you can play as an 8, you can play as a 10. There's so many options you can do with him just because of his technical quality, but I'd push him more centrally. I'd maybe think about bringing Jose Perez on for Damari Gray, although that's not a substitution that fills me with that much optimism for their comeback in this game. Try and get someone a bit closer to Vardy. But United's midfield, against all odds, has looked pretty solid and held the ball really well at parts in that game. So it's going to be a big ask for Brendan Rodgers' men.
OK, then. I mean, talking of Manchester United's midfield, we spoke about Declan Rice being a potential addition for £90 million in future transfer windows. We actually have a clip of him with Mark Noble going through their you know, questions for one another. It's teammates, isn't it? It's pretty self-explanatory.
Mark, Declan, we're going to play the Who Am I quiz, the quiz that everyone's been talking about. The rules are very simple. In front of me, on these cue cards, I've got a series of West Ham players. The first person to buzz in and get the question right will win a point. But if you buzz in and get the question wrong, you're frozen out of that round. Mark, can we hear your buzzer sound? There we go, Declan, yours? First up, player 1. First clue, I am an Olympic gold medalist.
Not actually an Olympic gold medalist, is he?
Do we go to the next one?
No, wait.
If you
Go on,
get it wrong-
guess.
Ooh. You've got to go now.
I am Mikel Antonio.
Incorrect. So you're frozen out now. Nobes.
Yeah.
Only you in the game. I am the oldest player at West Ham.
Pablo Zabaleta.
Correct. It is Pablo Zabaleta. It is 1-0 Mark Noble. Right.
I thought it was you.
Player 2.
Mate, that's all right, I
My
didn't
middle
think so.
name is Marlowe. I am the fastest West Ham player on FIFA 19.
Ryan Fredericks.
Correct. Ryan Fredericks, 2-0 Nobes.
That's his best mate as well. How do you not get that?
I am the slowest West Ham player on FIFA 19.
Mark Noble.
It is Mark Noble, correct. Player 5. This is an interesting one. I touched the ball more than any other West Ham player last season. Nobes.
I'm going to say, so I think it's out of 2.
Go on, you've only got one. There's a lot of time. This is taking.
Declan Rice.
It's not Declan Rice, so we can go to the next clue.
There's only one more you can get.
I have played with Miroslav Klose and Neymar. Declan.
Felipe.
It is Felipe Anderson.
I was going to say Felipe, but I just thought,
I was going to say.
have you had not more touches than him?
I was going to say Issa.
In 2012, Dani Alves referred to me as a great player and compared me to Xavi and Iniesta. Mark Noble.
Jack Wilshere.
Correct, Jack Wilshere. Didn't think that one?
No, I should have though, thinking about it now. Dani Alves, he was obviously out at the time.
Next player. I got booked 10 times last season, which is more than any other West Ham player. Declan Rice.
Snodgrass.
It is Robert Snodgrass. Very quick. Did you know that?
Yeah.
You both buzzed in. I am West Ham's.
Oh.
Wait. Felipe Anderson.
Incorrect. We've already had Felipe Anderson. I am West Ham's new club record signing.
Haller.
It is Sebastian Haller. I am the shortest first-team player at West Ham. Declan Rice.
I'm going Lanzini.
It is Manuel Lanzini. Well done. Pep Guardiola described me as an excellent young player last season.
Declan Rice.
Correct. It is Declan Rice. Declan, you didn't know that? Did you know
Yeah,
that?
I didn't want to say it about myself.
Right, next up. My middle name is Gregory. I went on loan 5 times in 4 years whilst at Reading. I took 65 shots last season, which was more than any other West Ham player.
Mikel Antonio.
Correct, it is Mikel Antonio. You knew that as soon as you said that.
No, yeah, but yeah, when you meant, yeah, it was.
I played every minute of the 2018-19 season.
That's
Oh,
me.
it was close.
Ask the
I think it was
cameraman.
Mark Noble.
It was.
Go on.
Lucas Fabianski.
It is Lucas Fabianski. Pulls into the lead.
I don't think you can come back.
I don't think you can, but we're still playing on.
Yeah, I'll make it respectable scoreline.
And you're enjoying it as well?
Yeah, of course.
I have won Serie A twice. Wow, that was rapid. Nobes.
Angelo Ogbonna.
It is. Player 14. I am my country's second. You haven't even heard the question yet.
I have.
Go on, what do
I
you
know
think? What do you think the
Arthur
question
Masuaku.
It's not Arthur Masuaku. You're frozen
What is the
out.
question?
You might as well hear all
Go on,
three.
yeah.
I am my country's second highest goal scorer with 36 goals. Do you want me to go to clue 2?
Yeah,
I spent 9 years at Dynamo Kiev and scored 99 goals.
Yarmolenko. Yarmolenko.
It is Yarmolenko. Final question, for the respect. My middle name is Wiramu. Do you know it?
No.
Okay,
I
we'll
don't
go.
need to know it, do I?
You don't need to know it technically, no. Second clue. I moved to Denmark aged 10, where I went on to make my professional club debut.
I'm just going to tap it and go Winston Reid.
It is Winston Reid. Clue 3 was I'm the captain of my national team. That is the end of Who Am I? Nobes, you are the winner. Tell me what that means to you.
Nothing really, to be honest.
Declan,
I beat Deck at everything.
do you? Do you really? He pulled away a bit there.
Yeah, I'm too.
No. This is on it. Boys,
Top man, mate.
Cheers,
Appreciate
guys.
that. Cheers,
Top
guys.
man.
Love it.
Always lovely getting a bit of Smithy on the show, whether he's in the chair or on a VT. Joseph?
Yes.
Manchester United, you told me a stat there about how many leads they've surrendered. So,
Yes.
cause for concern still?
Yeah, still cause for concern. We're terrible at seeing out games, aren't we? We've led at half-time in all but one so far this season. Drawn 2 already. And it's imperative we hold this together. United are really struggling to turn 1-0s into 2-0s. We kind of sit back and rest on our laurels a bit at 1-0, and it's come back to bite us, obviously, against Southampton and Wolves. We turned it quickly on in the second half against Chelsea, didn't we? That sudden 2 goals in 5 minutes killed the game. We need to do that today because the more it stays 1-0, the longer it stays 1-0, sorry, the more worried I am.
Yeah, uncharacteristically ruthless against
Yeah.
Chelsea, weren't you? Before we move on to some questions from Ash in Social Corner, again, if you haven't submitted a question, please do so. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe by clicking that button right now. We're going to get the group bet up and see how we're doing, gentlemen.
Ooh.
As a team, I've called the draw. Good start.
Oh,
Joe
lovely.
letting us down there with his
Yeah.
cynicism. Ash went for a home win. Sheffield United, I think, might edge that.
They're unlucky at the moment as well.
I'm positive. Doogie, I think yours
Come
probably
on.
will come in, and Will has ruined it for everyone.
Come on, Will.
Well done, Will.
So he meets a Peaky Blinder today, and then overjoyed at that, and then ruins
the
everyone
side
else's
Well done, mate.
quality. So
Well done, mate. Thanks for that.
probably won't participate in our group ACCA at the moment. But if you want to, then odds are accurate at the time of recording.
It'd be very good odds.
Further details on the website. What is this? Anarchy.
Sorry.
On set. People throwing things around. Wouldn't happen under Adam Smith, would it? Absolute temerity. Questions, please, Ash.
Yes, one from Nikki S. So, Paul Pogba, he's not playing today. Would he get into every team in the world?
Paul Pogba.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, you're his biggest advocate, Joe. Do you
Yes.
want to start us off?
Definitely. Definitely. Real Madrid, I think, are short in midfield at the moment. They would get into the PSG midfield. Bayern Munich, I would 100% be starting him in there. Manchester City is probably the most suspect one, but even then, I'd find room for him. I'd love to see
think
Pogba
that's the
alongside
key.
KDB with a defensive midfielder in there. And Liverpool, yeah, 100%. What is it? Oxlade-Chamberlain started today. I think I'd start Pogba over
I think that's
Ox.
the key. I think if a team, it maybe looks like he might not get in, they'd find room for him because
Yeah.
he's just so good and have
I mean,
such an
the only-
impact on
The
every
closest
team.
one's Man City.
Man City's the closest, and you would still get him alongside KDB, wouldn't you?
Yeah, no, that's where you play him. You definitely wouldn't want him in a holding
At the
position
expense
over
of who?
Fernandinho or Gundogan. Well, I suppose David Silva or who else has been
Yeah,
starting
David
in
Silva.
there?
I would expense David Silva for Paul Pogba. I think David
Silva,
Silva is still
Gundogan.
an incredible player, but he's leaving Man City at the end of the season. So I would be putting Pogba.
He's extremely versatile, isn't he? So he can play in a number of positions. That's what he's got going for him in regards to that question. It's just how he would adapt to a manager's specific system. You've got a good kind of vantage point of a lot of European clubs working on Eurofootball Daily. Do you think he gets in the best of the rest, excluding the Premier League?
I would probably say the toughest would be Barcelona in the rest of Europe. I think Frankie de Jong, Arthur...
Miles ahead of
Busquets.
Arthur.
Yep, different
Miles
players.
ahead.
Very different players, and in a Barcelona system,
Deeper.
I'm not sure. I mean, he's such a fantastic athlete, and I think he probably does have the ball skills to get in there. But Barcelona's system, Arthur fits in very nicely there. Vidal started the... Nowadays, yeah, he's definitely ahead of him.
And ahead of Rakitic.
But I just don't think it's as easy as you necessarily think in some of the European clubs. I'm not sure how easily he gets in over Tolisso and Thiago and Bayern Munich's lineup.
Yeah.
as
Thiago,
well.
yes. Tolisso.
Tolisso
no, yeah.
walks in over Tolisso.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's closer than I think it's closer than you think. But yeah,
Do you know
I
one
think
that
he's,
might be tough?
Juventus.
Yeah, Juve.
Ramsey, Rabiot.
I think
Pjanic.
No, yeah, definitely.
the-
100% what am I talking about?
I think the fact they pursued him again this summer suggests they would chop any single player in that midfield to put
Every
him in.
club
the
would.
fact that Emre Can hasn't even been registered for
A
the Champions
midfield-
League squad.
That's
Yeah.
mental. isn't
That
it?
is
A
pretty sad,
midfield
isn't
three
it?
of Pjanic, Rabiot, Pogba. I agree with Joe. I think
Yeah.
the closest is Man City.
It's a very good question, that.
And do you
Any more up
think
your sleeve, Ash?
Well, do you think he'll leave? Do you think he'll leave, not in January, I don't think he'll leave in January, but next summer, do you think that's it for him at United? Do you think he's gone somewhere in Europe?
I wouldn't blame him if he did either.
Yeah,
no, I wouldn't either.
Definitely gone next summer.
What's he done, 4 years now? 3 years?
Is this
4 years of hard time? 4 years of hard time. 4 years of hard time.
A player of his calibre shouldn't be playing
this is his 4th season.
more than one season, which in Europa League football, like you accept that as an anomaly, but he should not be turning out consistently in that tournament.
This is his, what, 3rd season of Europa League football?
I think the narrative slightly changed around him as well. It used to be, oh, you know, Paul's not this, Paul's not that. He used to be the sort of scapegoat. And in some areas, I think he still is, in some branches of the media, I mean. But this year, I think there's a lot of sort of realism about the sort of how he's just so far ahead of his midfield partners. He's just leagues ahead. And it's, you know, he's doing... I think he's created he's in the top 5 creators and also one of the top 5 defensive actions for midfielders. He's having to do it all for United, and I just wouldn't blame him. And for United, take 150 to 200 million, get another player in there. It won't be the same quality, but start a rebuild.
United will sell him in the summer for 150 million. They'll go and try and get Maddison out of Leicester for sort of 90 to 100, I think, for the attacking output. And then they'll look to find an out-and-out defensive midfielder to sit in there. Whether that is Declan Rice, that's probably the sort of player that Ollie wants, given that he loves to sign British players. Or don't be surprised to go and see Ollie, dip into the Championship. We've seen him do it with Daniel James and have success. I think a player like Calvin Phillips he might have been looking at as well, pre him signing a new contract there. I don't think Ollie's going to go for superstars. I think Maddison is just the sort of player he'll go after. He knows he's going to be a top-level output, English, 22 years old, perfect fit for the more advanced midfield role.
Yeah.
And then he'll have McTominay in there because he loves him, and he'd look for that DM. And it'll probably be somebody that we don't think is a big deal now. I don't think it'll be Longstaff.
No,
I don't think Longstaff will have a good season
And if
this
they
year.
pursue Maddison, you'd imagine that
Longstaff didn't start today.
They are bracing for a Pogba exit because he would be playing in that number 10 role. That's where Pogba wants to play. He's been on record to say he wants to play in a more advanced role, and he's not been able to because, like Doogie said, he's kind of had to fill that quality gap that the rest of his midfield partners leave. The teams are coming out. I think we've got time for a couple more questions, though.
Just on...
sorry, one for everyone. KDB or Pogba?
KDB.
Is that unanimous?
No, Pogba.
No, you just go Pogba.
I'll go Pogba.
Pogba,
I think if
KDB.
you put Pogba under Guardiola, he'd be doing more bits than KDB.
Do you think?
Yeah, and I think if you put KDB under Solskjaer / Mourinho / Van Gaal, you'd be going, wow.
I don't think you'd be going, wow. He'd be class in that side.
He'd be okay.
I think KDB the only person who is creating more chances from midfield than Paul Pogba this season.
And I love KDB.
I think I'd opt for KDB as well.
KDB
He's been an absolute beast.
Taking more shots than Aubameyang and Salah as well.
Really?
Okay, let's get a couple more questions then we'll go back to Old Trafford for the game because the players are coming out.
This is a good one from Luke88. Who's the best player you've seen live in the flesh? So who have you gone to see live as the best player you've seen?
Leo Messi. Scored a hat. I went to watch him at the Nou Camp when he scored a hat-trick against Manchester City. Yeah, just freak. Total freak. Never seen any footballer like it. Like, I've seen Ronaldo live, and obviously an incredible player, explosive. Messi walks for 60% of the game. He doesn't run anywhere. He just walks around the pitch. And then when the ball's coming towards him, suddenly it's like, bang, I'm going to take it on past 3 people and score a goal. And he scored a hat-trick that day against Pep's Man City. And it was just like...
I mean, he's the only player in history who's ever dropped deeper and deeper and deeper and managed to generate more shots in consistent seasons. The guy is an absolute freak, like Joseph said. Nothing he can't do. What about yourself, do you? What Sunderland player has been Sebastian?
Yeah, end of. I don't need to say any more. Sebastian Larsson, best player I've ever seen live. And I've seen Man United play as well.
Nice. I like it. Ballsy. What about yourself?
Scholes for me. When I was younger, he used to go to United, a lot of United games. He's just a magician. Until Fabregas came into the Premier League, I never saw someone in centre midfield have as much time on the ball and drop deep. And you knew what he was going to do. You knew he'd want to drop deep, pick out the pass to the fullbacks, but no one ever got near him. And you've seen people talk about him the way they say you just can't get anywhere near him on the pitch. And I think that's testament to how good he was. Nice. He's the best player I saw by a mile.
Lovely job. Will, quickly, who's lit up St Andrews, in times gone by, since you were 8?
Paul Furlong against Sheffield United in '97, one of the best penalties I've ever seen from 12 yards.
Paul Furlong and Seb Larsson.
Come on, United!
Seb Larsson actually scored the best goal I've ever seen in the flesh. With the goal.
Lovely job. So the games have kicked off then. Manchester United and Leicester
Come on, United.
underway. All the rest of the three teams back at it as well.
Ooh!
And any chance for
Rashford.
someone there, Will?
Yeah, Harry Winks driving forward from that deeper position in midfield, and it was nearly 5-0.
What a player.
Left-footed, wand, low drive, takes a deflection, keeper pushes it round the post. I thought Crystal Palace maybe would have got something going, but appears to be more of the same, and that was guff.
Oh,
Nice. I think that's probably a debut for the word guff on this show as well. So
Is it?
love that. Yeah, Leicester as they were.
Yeah, I
No
think so,
changes.
no
Have we
changes.
noticed any change in shape or approach so far? Gentlemen, it has been about 60
Yeah,
seconds.
early days so far. It's just been all sort of possession in their own half. I imagine changes will probably come in from 50, 55. I think he'll probably give another 10 minutes to it because they did have a couple of...
Damari Gray's walking a tightrope right now.
I
Doogie.
think he must surely be back to be cropped off.
Cropped off.
But yeah, it'll just be interesting to see. They need to get close to Vardy. They need to get a grip in midfield. I've been surprised with how much control United have had in there, really.
Vardy has been so isolated.
Yeah.
Like, the ball's just been hit in front of him. And
Unless
I feel a
James
bit
Maddison
sorry for
gets
him,
really involved in the game, that tends to happen to him, doesn't it?
Yeah, but United's defensive line is really deep, so like it's not like he can get in behind either. So a bit of a problem that for Leicester for me, and they don't really have any second strikers on the bench unless they brought Perez on, do they? So
No,
Yeah.
the bench for Leicester is very midfield heavy, isn't it? Of course, new signing Dennis Pratt.
great ball.
Hello.
Oh, he's in.
Take that first time. Oh, James Maddison almost found that in the box. Who was that? Johnny Evans from deep?
I think it was.
No, was it? No,
I'm not quite sure. It might have been
Tielemans.
Tielemans. They're under the shadow of Old Trafford there. Can't really tell
Nearly.
who it is.
I mean, it's an incredibly difficult ball to try and pull off.
I mean,
Yeah, it's quite straight, isn't it?
It's like the impossible pass.
But that's the James Maddison getting beyond Jamie Vardy there. Positive sign. Leicester coming out with a little bit more attacking intent, maybe. Will, any intent going on in the other games?
Yeah, it was an interesting substitution in the Wolves game. Obviously, they're 3-0 down, and Dendonker's come off for Catrone, so they've gone two up top. I think Jota's just sitting in behind them. So a sign of intent there from Nuno, who was, of course, a goalkeeper, which
Famously,
I found out this morning.
Has
But
a
yeah,
sleeve tattoo as well, Will. Did you know that?
No.
Well played along then.
So yeah, two up top for Wolves, 3-0 down. Still not won a game all season, so unless they score 4 against Chelsea, that will remain the same.
I quite like that from Nuno, actually, just putting another striker on that.
Vardy's causing Maguire some problems.
Personally,
Oh,
at 3-0
my
down,
goodness.
at 3-0 down against Chelsea, I'd have probably,
Shot.
taken off the big boys and just been like, this game's gone. But fair play, going for 2 up top. It's a system that they rarely go to. So we'll see how Catrone links up with Jimenez after a not fantastic start to it.
Tomlinson, what's happened here with Vardy? Because if someone's at the back post, Leicester are in there.
Not too much. It's just a hoofball down the line. He's kind of knocked it across the 6-yard box, but nobody's near him. Nobody within 30 yards of him to get in the box, which has been...
Goal!
Oh,
For Brighton!
Hello, sir. It's Mopay again.
Mopay has scored for Brighton from Brentford to Brighton.
Oh, Dan James. Go on, son.
Have it.
Oh, my lordy.
Wilfred Ndidi has just
Hello,
been
the
turned
second
into
half in every game.
Action.
Come alive.
Wilfred Ndidi's just been turned into a stick man. Right, Dan James there.
And we'll go back to the game to see if he's unturned from a stick man after Will explains this goal. In what game?
The Brighton game, yeah. Ball whipped in, dinked in. He's got way too
Great
much time
finish.
on the penalty spot, Neil Maupay. Look at this, solly march with the left-hand cross, but he's between 3 defenders. He's got time to bring it down. It's a good finish into the side netting. But it's 1-0 to Brighton. They have sort of just shaved it, I think.
That's a lovely finish. One of our picks from the Championship last season, along with Adams. He's definitely had the better start, hasn't he? Potter's side creating a lot more chances than Hasenhüttl Southampton at the moment, which is weird because that tends to be a hallmark of a Hasenhüttl side, doesn't it?
That Redmond injury.
Shea Adams has had 3. Well, the volley he created himself, but there was one chance that he had the header, which I didn't realise from the
great save.
And then he's had one where he's absolutely snatched at it, and that was the best chance of the lot. Goal!
Please tell me it's Shea
Sheffield
Adams.
United.
that Shea Adams missed, and it could have cost them. Free kick whipped in at the back post. I think McGoldrick snatched at it. He didn't get there, and it's Oliver McBurney with his second goal for Sheffield United.
Feel the burn, mate.
Look at all these Championship players coming up to the Premier League and saying, yeah, we have got a good league, and we're going to have a go. Fantastic.
Good football,
spot the Championship fan.
Look at this.
Right, back to the Man United game then, because Manchester United are starting to put together a
together some
decent
lovely moves.
Oh, Mata!
attacking move.
One
Mata forcing a save for Schmeichel. Who was that blazing it over?
Pereira at the edge of the box.
Pereira, who's still been pretty non-existent.
He's been okay.
I feel sorry for him. He's asked to do a job that he's not a winger.
Massive turning Soyuncu a bit too easy there.
We are checking for VAR for the McBurney goal. We are checking on
And
VAR.
he is a Rangers fan, so I would not be too dismayed if this was disallowed.
But he's a Rangers fan.
Yeah. Unless he's just not a Celtic
So what is this being VAR'd for?
Serious
Do we
man.
know? Oh, they're in, top left.
Offside. Aaron Lennon down the right. Offside! It's offside!
No goal.
McBurney still has one.
Okay. Lovely.
And a lovely
touch
beard.
from McTominay.
Did you see McBurney? He went to
all over
support
the gaff,
Swansea away in the away end.
No,
proper
but love it when footballers end up in the away end.
Yeah, proper getting into it. Keep going away.
It's like a collector's item for a cameraman,
just
isn't
a
it?
little
When they can
offside.
find them.
Oh, yeah, it's lovely. And he had a hood on.
There's a fly in here. OK, let's go and get some fan questions from Ashti. Again, if you've not sent us a question, what are you playing at? Get in the comments and this man will pick them out. The best ones, that is.
The question we had about who's the best player you've seen live in the flesh, Greg Stott saw Henrik Larsson, Brian Laudrup and Paul Gascoigne. That must be up in Scotland.
Wow.
Where?
Old firm,
That
probably.
must have been an old firm
yeah.
Rangers
In the shopping
Celtic,
centre?
yeah.
or?
Great players up there.
I'll take Greg for a pint.
That was in the 90s
Greg
when
Gillen.
Scottish football was at its best. Graham Souness was pulling up all sorts of players up to Rangers.
What is
and,
that?
and Celtic had a really good team at that
From
stage.
2000 to 2005, when I first really started to get into football and support Celtic, fully. I mean, I thought the good times would never end. Just UEFA Cup semis, finals, and it's been pretty
Seville?
consistently downhill from there.
Is it Seville you went to UEFA Cup?
Yes, took 100,000 fans to Seville,
Go on.
and FIFA gave us an award for that. Is the only award we came away with in Europe. That's
Yes, Aaron.
Thanks for bringing lots of fan awards.
just the well-behaved award.
Oh, one hit it.
Hit it.
Hit it.
What's happening, Joe?
Oh, Rashford had a great chance to strike it and he just decided he wasn't going to.
Oh, he's done him. Oh, Harry
Yes,
Maguire.
Harold!
Calmness
Defending.
on the ball. Don't know why I'm clapping. I'm
classed
actually supposed to
by
be
Harry Maguire.
That's
That.
ridiculous. Man
That's
United fans need
fantastic
to calm
defending,
down a
that.
little bit.
I'm getting, it's sucking into me as well. I'm supposed to be supporting Leicester.
Tell him. Don't just whisper it in my ear. Tell him to calm down, Will.
Chris said you should calm down, Joe.
Watch yourself, Brazia.
That's bad.
No, it's wasteful.
Hamza cutting out the ball there. He's actually had
Hamza's been
a
good.
pretty decent game
I feel there's another goal
at the
coming
base of
in that
midfield,
game,
hasn't he?
I feel like Leicester on the break look a bit dangerous.
Do, don't they?
Look a bit dangerous. That
Did you make
could
changes yet?
Yeah,
Did you make
53
changes yet?
No, no.
55, Harvey Barnes. Let's get him on.
Harvey Barnes for Gray. for
Harvey Barnes for sure. I'll be bringing on
Seriously.
the
But before we discuss any more changes,
Great. Oh, that is
we've got a
so
price
open.
boost. We've got a price boost, gentlemen. Okay.
What is
so
it?
just concentrate, please. It's Jamie Vardy to score next at 6-1, which
Get
is
on it.
Get on that, seriously. Get on that. Brazia, put a fiver on for me quickly.
Yeah, I'll pop that on for you,
Which,
mate. Anyone else?
given the stuttering form of United when they
well.
lead, might not be the worst shout. Odds obviously are accurate at the time of recording. If you want to know more details, to visit the website.
Oh, great
You can only
play.
play if you're 18, Will. And when the fun stops, what do?
Stop.
Exactly, mate.
There's a chance for
Oh,
Leicester
there you go.
this.
Free kick edge of the box.
And you watch
Leicester.
this go top bins.
This is the exact pattern of every United
Madison.
game so far.
Come on!
Goal!
Oh, go on. Sorry, Will.
Goal!
Quickly.
Chelsea.
4-0 to Chelsea. I think
my
it was
God.
Tammy. I was watching another
Nuno.
game, sorry.
It's Tammy again.
I think it's a Tammy hat-trick.
Oh,
could
my
Could be
word.
perfect. He's had a right-footed goal, a headed goal. I'm going to see the replay if we've got the perfect hat-trick collection.
I've had a nightmare here. I'm writing a script about why Chelsea will finish outside the top 6 and then just battered.
Oh,
Is it left foot? Is it left foot? Could come back round for his left.
Abraham!
Tammy!
He's
Still
turned him into a
delivered.
terracotta warrior. Connor Cody done, mate.
Connor
Absolute.
Cody is having a mare.
Yeah, but come on, that is sheer class by Tammy Abraham.
I mean, not the touch.
Look at this, though.
That is sheer class by
Little
Tammy
pop shovel round him. See you later, mate. Thanks for coming. Connor Cody wishes he was back in Liverpool. Oh, my. He's nearly
Credit
fallen
to Tammy
over.
Abraham, but like Cody, flat-footed.
By the way, United have
No
a
strength
habit
as
of
well.
conceding
Here we go.
one the goals
Here we
this
go. We'll go
season.
back
This
to
is
the
Madison,
definitely
edge of the
going.
box.
We'll go back to the Abraham goal after this free kick because
Actually,
Ben
Young loves
Chilwell
this.
and Madison are standing over it. If Chilwell takes it, there'll be a riot. So
Well,
let's
it
hope
suits
James
a left
Maddison
footer,
hits
though,
this.
doesn't
Go
it?
on then, son.
Oh!
Inches. Blimey, all created from a massive run as well, and he's just hit that free kick just right of the right-hand post.
I thought that was a goal. It's tickled the side netting.
Oh, it's quality.
De Gea doesn't move.
Talking of being tickled, Ash, you know.
Yeah?
You enjoy tickled, don't you, mate? Let's ask some more fan questions.
They're putting Abraham in this week, so cheers, Tammy.
Rookie.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Scotty. Go on, Scott, open them legs.
Look at that deep.
Get that on.
Wow.
No context.
Nice, DJ.
Lovely.
Got a question from James Cootin. It's an interesting one, actually. So he said, listen before you react. Is Aubameyang top 5 centre-forwards in the world? Don't include Messi, Salah, Mbappe, Ronaldo, those kind of inverted forwards.
Don't include the actual top 5.
Just
Ronaldo.
Well, like a number 9?
nines. Just number 9 centre-forwards.
Okay, out-and-out number 9s.
Kane.
That's a better question.
Kane is better than him.
Lewandowski's the best number 9 in world football right now.
Yeah,
Kane's above him.
Aguero, I'd say.
It is!
Above him.
Oh, he's been held there.
I think he might be the 4th. No, he's better than Firmino. At least as a 9.
He's the best 9.
On form,
Icardi
Timo Werner's got to be in the mixture as well. Started the season on absolute fire. But not better than Aubameyang, I will admit.
Yeah, if you're excluding every good striker, yes, he is.
No, excluding the wingers that come in and score loads of goals.
So
Like
top
centre-forwards.
5 for 9s are we talking about?
Yeah,
Aubameyang.
top 5 for 9s.
Okay, so who have we got, gentlemen? Lewandowski.
Yep.
A bit
Kane.
Aguero.
So we have to
Kane,
include
definitely.
Ronaldo. He is
Aguero.
No Ronaldo, because he played on the left. And
Are
why he's been
we
playing for the
including
centre.
a fully fit Suarez?
Suarez, yes.
Suarez,
And then
absolutely.
Aubameyang. So he just scrapes in
Yeah, I
at
think he's
5th.
5th.
Wait, could you do that list again for me?
Okay,
Lewandowski, Aguero, Kane, not in that order. Potentially in that order, actually. Suarez, and who's the 5th?
Aubameyang, you said.
I think I'd have
Firmino.
if we're not including Ronaldo in the as a 9, then we can't.
Firmino, phenomenal player, but more of a withdrawal. Yeah, he's more of a 10.
You could only have him in your team as a 9 if you have goal-scoring wingers, couldn't you? So if you're just asking for a out-and-out number 9.
The quality of Leicester has been abysmal.
Tell you what, though, Ash.
Really
Jose
rare.
Mourinho made the point on Sky Sports last weekend. Firmino working alongside Aubameyang on the left and Nicola Pepe on the right. He was like, that would be one of the most
Frightful.
Because he said
Frightful.
Firmino would drop into the 10 and then create the space.
Creating space, and they're coming in on the angle.
I do think Lacazette's
Danger.
probably the best finisher at the club, just to offer
Better than Aubameyang?
counterpoint to that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
As a natural finisher.
I think he's a good snap finisher, like power, pace, front post. But I would go Aubameyang every day of the week if I had a one-on-one and he has a bit mouse.
Aubameyang. I like Aubameyang from wider positions, and he has scored the majority, if not, 3/4 of his career goals from inside the box, hasn't he? But I think
is Lukaku getting anywhere near the shouts at the moment?
No,
not at the moment, but as in, sorry.
Apparently he lost was it £12 or £8 in like 10 days or something before
I think his weight might have been over-exaggerated, because when I saw him against Lecce and he didn't look 100 kilos plus. He looks exactly the same weight as he was at United. So
no, I think he does look a bit trimmer. I do think that was probably that stick was used to beat him with
100
maybe
kilo
a little bit unfairly.
Oh, mads, that's outrageous.
But no, I think if we're talking top 15, that's where you might see you
Really?
might start
Top
to see
15?
Lukaku.
Blimey.
Yeah, he needs to get back into form, doesn't he? He only started 22 games last season.
fewer than Ashley Young and Chris Smalling.
And that's why.
Chris Smalling's heavily reliant on
What show was that on? What did we do? Continental Club.
Yeah.
And that's why I should tune into Continental Club on Fridays. Primo
Subscribe to
stats.
Eurofootball Daily.
Yeah, we had no right back. Ashley Young was our right back also.
Well, we might as well go over to the other games. Feel like we haven't been over to see you in a little while.
Hi, mate,
It's always
you
a
all right?
pleasure. Yeah.
You good?
Yeah, I'm absolutely fine.
Wolves had a very good chance. It was a low-driven cross, and Kepa's actually got fingertips to it to push it wide to prevent a Wolves tap-in. And there was a shout for a Crystal Palace penalty. Jordan Ayew, it was similar to the one with Rashford and the lad at Leicester. Got in front of his man, but VAR didn't give it. Maybe because they're a smaller club. Maybe there's a huge conspiracy that the Premier League aren't telling us about. But probably it just wasn't a penalty.
I mean, there was also a shout for most improved lid, wasn't there? In the form of Kepa.
Yeah, lovely that. Little Peaky Blinders / Jack Grealish sort of lid. You pointed out when you do get to London, you've got a range of top quality hairdressers to choose from. So
It's inevitable, mate. Absolutely inevitable.
Yeah.
Credit where credit's due quickly.
Go on.
Ashley Young has played well. Much maligned all of last season, and rightly so in patches, but I think he's actually, Demarai Gray, hasn't looked great in this game at all, but I think he's controlled that left-hand side, he's pretty much shut it down.
And that's had to come from Doogie, Joe.
I think
Not even big enough to admit that Ashley Young's playing well.
Can we just? Who did Ayew first come on for?
I didn't even notice that substitution. Can we get that in the comments below? Who did Jose Perez come on for?
And
can we have a couple more questions, please, Ashty?
Yes.
Rubbish.
Ginger Ninja.
It was for Chowdhury, gents. Sorry, just to clarify.
Okay.
I had it in my ear, Chowdhury.
Okay. Oh, that is a very attacking joke.
Good decision.
Ginger Ninja. Who should Chelsea bring in when their ban is lifted?
Just for Joe, is it that one?
Well, we saw this week that they were linked with Jose Gaya, the Valencia left-back.
Yeah.
Don't really know why they're going for another left-back, because I think Emerson started the season superbly.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's got an injury at the moment. And Marcus Alonso, for all his faults, I think he's a fine backup. The areas they probably need to look at are a more experienced out-and-out... Actually, Tammy's playing so well. Midfield, especially when Loftus-Cheek gets fit as well. Loftus-Cheek,
this is all Pereira.
What are you doing? Is that Damari Gray?
Yeah. Honestly,
He takes the most ridiculous shots.
Honestly, what has Pereira done in this game?
Week in, week out.
Pereira's I just don't understand the Pereira role. He's offering nothing on the right. He's not offering anything defensively. And, giving the ball away in that area there is criminal. It's criminal when they're breaking.
That was a really promising move by Leicester, and it was cut short by taking a shot, a P-roller along the ground from 30 yards.
Although, having said that, Damari Gray, last time he played at Old Trafford, did whip one top bins.
Oh, yeah.
School.
Yeah.
Have we noticed
one out of 80 efforts.
Looking great at Spurs as ever, David. Grew up a Spurs fan.
Oh, really
No, he grew up a United fan.
Grew up a Spurs
Wasn't his granddad a Spurs fan?
Granddad was a Spurs fan.
Yeah, check it out.
I will. But I remember him joining Man United as a very young, 10-year-old or whatever, and he was wearing United kit.
Oh no!
Oh, dear.
Don't punch it.
Oh my God, what's happened there?
This has been a positive substitution from Leicester. United are starting to invite them back into the game. Couple of promising moves. But it remains 1-0. And have we got any promising questions?
Still a lack of control.
Got a fantasy football question from Jack Heath. Any bargains to pick up? Anyone good value?
Who's actually still playing fantasy football and wants to take this question?
I'm still playing fantasy
massive
football. I'm
fan,
really
yeah.
enjoying it this
Yeah.
year.
Pereira!
I'm actually winning the Football Daily Draft, but no one likes a boaster, but I've said it anyway.
A boaster.
Bargains. I think I've got Guendouzi in my normal team. He's 4.5 million. I think he's picked up some useful points. Who have I got? I've got Basham at Sheffield United. They've been picking up some nice clean sheets as well.
So one at Sheffield United, Lundstrom, is listed as a defender, but he's actually playing centre mid.
He's actually playing midfield.
Yep.
But I think the player to really get in is Martial, because when he's been playing as a out-and-out 9, going to be in and amongst the goals this year. His attitude looks so much more improved from last year, but he's down as a midfielder.
Oh, no.
So I get Martial. I think he's just over 1 million. Obviously, when he's fully...
Unreal by Harry Maguire.
He's got to go, ref.
Cruyff turn tackle. And United need to make changes now.
Wow.
This is the pattern of every game, isn't it? We're going to concede
exactly what happens every game. Ollie leaves the changes too late.
He leaves it too late all the time.
All the
so
time.
frustrating.
Leicester have been so much more aggressive in midfield here. Much better tempo.
United, because Mata can't transition, now we are having to sit deep, is wasted. Pereira has offered nothing. One of those two players needs to be hooked at the earliest of opportunities.
Not that he's been very effective in front of goal, but Lingard would be a welcome addition to this game right now.
Yeah.
I know he's got an illness, hasn't he? So he can carry the ball and relieve a little bit of pressure, because Leicester have brought their line a little bit further up, applying a bit more pressure, and it looks a much more even game at the moment.
I want to see how many shots Man United have had, because I cannot remember the last time Man United had a shot in this game.
Go for it, my friend. Birmingham have scored, and
about
it
10
is...
minutes ago.
What a
Oh!
what a goal!
Okay,
individual piece of brilliance. What a goal!
Gempo.
Absolutely waltzing his way through the defence. Tried to shoot, pulled the trigger, fake trigger, then again, does another one, and a lovely low drive past the keeper. Here he goes, 1-1. See you later, mate.
1-1.
Back, have him again. Keeps going up.
Mason Mount has missed an
Who
open
is
goal
number
as well.
5 here?
Look at that.
Oh, he has.
Ginempo, thank you.
Who's this coming in?
Mason
here
Mount
on the
just missed an
left?
open
Shay
goal, by the way.
Adams.
Oh, he's opened his body up in a
Look at that.
really inviting fashion there. Gempo, that's his second goal for the club after joining from the Belgian league.
Look at the retention on that. No, thank you. See you later.
Go Pereira. Go Pereira.
Absolute spaghetti legs there from
only got
Gempo.
one
Back to
option.
the Manchester United game, Joe. No, and it's fizzled out.
I've had enough Pereira, he needs to come off.
Who are you bringing on, though? Chung, maybe?
I'm trying to think who's on our bench.
Talking of bringing people on,
Gomez.
I'll bring Fred on.
Harvey Barnes was warming up there. Joe, United have had 7 shots, by the by.
Oh, they have?
They have had 7 shots.
I bring Fred on.
What does Fred bring to this?
Surely more than Pereira, who
Fred
I cannot remember a single instance of
Pereira's
positivity.
playing on the right wing.
Yeah, let's move Mata out there and add another centre mid
Oh,
in
that
there.
stinks.
Oh, I love that.
I can't remember one thing Pereira's done well.
The United fans are at each other.
I'd get Pereira off, yes, but I'd go exciting. Bring on Chong or Greenwood.
Come on, Madison.
Just go for them.
Greenwood, I love it. Let's get Greenwood on.
£4.5 million on Fantasy Football, by the
Greenwood?
way, and he's going to get some
Because he
minutes.
can't get any minutes.
He'll get minutes. He's come on almost every game, hasn't he?
Yeah, 5 minutes here and there, though, isn't it?
That's another problem. He's not playing him enough.
Why has he done that, Ashley Young, by the way?
Yeah.
Why has Ashley Young done this?
Let that run. No one behind you.
I mean, he's not alive in the box at all there. If Madison can
Terrible.
pick Perez out, that's much better. Ashley Young not checking his
Terrible
shoulder for
communication.
his man, and it's a corner for Leicester.
One all's coming here. They're
Quickly,
growing
did
into it.
you have anything to say? Because you were kind of half pointing at me. It's gone. It's been and gone.
Kurt Zuma came on at half-time for Rudiger, so I don't know if that's...
Is that it?
Flare up.
Another injury.
That'd be a shame. It's his first game back.
How many times are we going to let him do this, United? Shift it to Tielemans, who then whips it in from a better angle.
Is your second team Leicester?
It is. That's why I'm quite invested, Will.
I'd say my 6th team's Leicester.
Okay, good.
Name your top 5.
Oh, Joe.
Name your
Your
top.
change.
Oh, look, here comes
Fred
Fred.
from
Ollie's
Matic.
been listening.
For Matic.
The sidekick strikes again.
I have
Okay.
not really noticed Matic in this game.
I've not really
that's
noticed
him every
Matic
game.
in 18 months.
That's Matic every game. He just does little things.
It's not really his
badly.
game. Yeah.
Come on then, Frederick.
He used to be such an omnipotent presence, didn't he? Fred, he needs to have a run of good games.
To be
because
fair, what I will say
his
about
United
Fred
career is stuttering.
is towards the back end of last season under Ollie, I actually thought he played his best football.
Yeah,
Not a high bar, but he was better as a DM at the very, very base of midfield under Solskjaer. So I'm hoping that he can do the same today. He just wants so much time on the ball. You don't have it.
That's the
I think
problem
I saw a stat at the end of last year that he's never started 3 games in a row for United.
Yeah, 50
Pretty
minutes
damning,
well.
isn't it? On comes Harvey Barnes, though, for Damari Gray.
Here we go.
I've been pining
Tahith
for
Chong's coming on as
the
well.
last 10 minutes.
Is he?
Tahith Chong.
Yes,
I mean,
that's
there's-
exciting.
that's
Can
got
you,
me for
can you give
Pereira.
us a bit
Yeah.
of info on what sort of player Tahith Chong is, if you've not been watching the United under 23s or whatever
Yeah,
it is?
so he's very much an out-and-out winger.
Yeah.
He likes to play on the transition, which is surely a booking for Maguire. But anyway, yeah, so out-and-out winger, likes to play on the transition, extremely quick. So I'd imagine he'll play on the right, or Daniel James will shift on to the right and he'll play on the left.
Okay.
And I think Mata might come off, and then he'll drop Pereira into the attacking midfield role, just for a bit
not
more
bad shout.
defensive solidity. So then he'll probably play a front three of Chong, James and Rashford. Look to hit him on the break, drop Pereira in and bring Mata off. I think it's probably what it'll
Goal!
do. Is it 5? It's 4-1.
4-1.
Didn't sound like a very good one.
Size,
Go on,
yes.
Will, explain what happened.
Yeah,
what's happened,
corners come in, Size headed it down, and Kepa's made a little bit of an error, really. Should be probably keeping that out, but it's 4-1.
And that's just ruined a lot of people's fantasy footballs clean sheets, hasn't it? So
Yeah.
I don't think many people...
little bit
if
of
you've
an-
got a Chelsea
What's
defender...
happened to Tarkov?
a little bit of an annoying goal to concede.
ugly.
I did pick up Kurt Zuma. It was premature.
Mata's
I
got to
do
come
regret
off!
God, that's bad.
Okay, what's happened there, Joe? I've missed that little bit of.
Giving it away for the
annoyance.
100th time in the last 10 minutes.
Okay.
So I think
That's
that'll
a
probably be
lot.
the end of his day. He's down in a crumpled heap, and Tahith Chong is awaiting a substitution. It's just not a foul, is it?
Okay.
It's just not a foul.
Well, while we're waiting for Chong to come on, let's get a couple of fan questions to pitch to the fine gentleman here.
Kean Ridley, do you think Liverpool or City can get close to Arsenal's 49-game unbeaten streak?
Liverpool or City?
I'm not
City.
sure that that's possible these days. You know, I think the all due respect to the
lost one game. They
Invincibles.
lost one game last season.
Yeah, I know, but what did City lose in the end? 4?
3 or 4.
3 or 4. I just think the strength of the Premier League is so much deeper than it was back in 2004. So I think that's very unlikely, to be totally honest. But if a side's more likely to do it, it's probably City. But then Liverpool have looked very strong as well. Sorry, not very much in-depth answer, but I can't see it happening, to be totally honest.
I mean, when you can't get a player out of Leicester for anything, shy of £70 million, that's indicative of how strong the rest of the players in the middling teams are. Like Doogie said,
Come on, Tahith.
the riches of the Premier League means that you can't even pluck their best players and therefore really make them significantly weaker. So I agree. Good question.
Come on,
No?
Chongy.
We got one more.
Another one we have. If Pochettino leaves, do you think Pochettino will leave in the summer? Sorry.
Joe, if he became available, do you drop OGS straight away?
I mean, I would, but United won't. I just don't think he's going to leave, is he? They've just backed him to the tune of, what, 100 plus £1 million. He's got a new stadium. The squad is built for him. Ooh, little bit of a late one there by
Left
Vardy. Yeah, I just can't see him leaving. I think if he was going to leave, he would have left.
Although you do see the sort of beginnings of discontent now. I mean, his best defender, Alderweireld, had an unhappy period. Danny Rose was transfer listed at the end of the summer. Jan Vertonghen was out the side at the start. Christian Eriksen said he wanted to leave as well.
Trippier was saying things were going on behind the scenes
exactly.
when he moved.
There's only so long, as great as they've been, Spurs, there's only so long that you can keep on underpaying your players compared to their rivals at other teams and expect players to be happy with it. Ultimately, it's their careers. And if Christian Eriksen knows that he can be on double, triple the wages somewhere else, probably not tripled, today they've absolutely smashed Crystal Palace.
Oh, he's got a decision to make.
At the start of this year, you know, there's rumours of discontent, there's rumblings going on behind the scenes. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he left in the next 18 months on his own accord.
So answered that emphatically. Will, what happened there in the Wolves game?
Matt Doherty was in behind the back for... Sorry.
Is that Scottish?
What was that? Yeah.
Matt Doherty!
Sorry, I'm trying to... There's 4 games at once, gents, sorry.
And it makes him go Scottish when he's busy.
Just don't say Nuno. Doherty was in behind Alonso. It was a coming together. He felt he should have had a penalty, but he just trips himself up, and it's still 4-1 to Chelsea.
And
Frank Lampard's Chelsea.
And you did poke me to say that Benteke had come on, which I was not prepared to throw to you for, but we might as well say it now.
Yeah, Benteke.
Who did he come on for?
He came on for Jordan Ayew.
Yes, Freddie. Yes, Freddie.
Oh, dear.
Give it to him on the edge. Hit it! Oh, the state of him! Honestly, the state of Pereira.
I mean, that was a loose ball.
That was not a loose ball.
It wasn't the best.
So harsh.
I don't think the pass was the best there to take into stride and have a shot.
Chong working hard there.
Okay, let's have a little look at it. I might be wrong, James. Prepared to admit.
It's a tiny bit in front of him, I agree. It's not the dream pass, but you've got to be doing better.
It's not ideal.
It's shambolic, is what it is.
I mean, it's relatively poor.
I'm enjoying Chong's energy up front, though.
It's
pressing really hard, putting Schmeichel under a lot of pressure there. It was Chong pressing hard.
I mean, considering he needed 5 minutes to get into a game, that was not bad. Not a bad pick out. OK, let's go back to the questions then.
One from Crayman. Is Jamie Vardy underrated? So I'm just looking, you got 18 goals last season, 18 Premier League goals last season.
You know what I think?
32, 31, 32?
I think, yeah.
Has he kind of gone about being underrated? Can he have gone to a
go,
slightly bigger
then,
club, do you
Pereira.
think? Or is Leicester the right fit?
I mean, he turned Arsenal down.
Oh, that's brilliant by
Leicester
Pereira.
paid him handsomely to do so.
Yeah.
I mean, he's only been outscored by Aguero and Kane since, was it Leicester won the league, I want to say,
so,
or
yeah.
something around that time period. I don't think he's underrated. I think he's got 30-something goals in like 40-something games against the top 6, so everyone knows how much of a threat he is. Gentlemen, you said you'd take him at United.
Right now, I probably would.
Which is quite
Pressing
interesting.
centre forward that scores goals.
Elaborate on why that is, maybe?
Which is because, as much as I love Martial and Rashford, I don't think we can hang our hats on them, is that the phrase, to score 20, 25 goals a season. If you have a pressing centre forward like Jamie Vardy in a team with Martial, with Rashford on either side of him, then you could potentially score 20 goals for you in the league. And that's exactly what we need. We need an experienced centre forward that's going to score us some goals when we're struggling to break teams down, like Palace, like Wolves, where we should have got 3 points. So yes, I would definitely take him.
Even at, what is he, 32 now?
I mean, if United moved for him at this point, it'd be like a Teddy Sheringham-esque move, wouldn't it?
Oh, that was fantastic. I love it.
Elderly statesman to really solidify that forward line.
I think it just really depends on what price. I mean, if he's 15 million, yeah, sure, but you're max getting 2 years out of that.
Max. There's no way Leicester let him go for 15.
No, exactly. So I just don't think he's worth even close to £30 million, considering his age and considering how reliant his game is on pace, which you'd expect. It's not diminishing, anytime soon.
Dropping off, is it?
At some time it has to.
Following the Riyad Mahrez transfer saga and Harry Maguire, no club wants to deal with Leicester. No bigger club wants to deal with.
Can I just say how good Scott McTominay's been today? Again.
I was thinking that about 2 minutes ago.
Like, carries the ball brilliantly through the midfield. Like, he's really run Maddison all over the place today.
In the absence of a partner as well, when he gets the ball, he looks like it's just him.
He looks really strong. Like, that's frustration by Maddison. That's pure frustration by Maddison at that kick out. So, yeah, with no Pogba alongside him and basically carrying a legless Matic on his back at this stage.
I feel sorry for Maddison, though. Like, all of Leicester's best players gone through him. I don't think Tielemans has had his best game compared to his form early on this year.
A little bit anonymous,
A little bit anonymous. Everything's gone through Maddison, and he's been really good, but there's just not been enough backup
That's
for him
nice.
today. And United
box,
really
Rashi.
coming back into it in the last 10 minutes or so. They just need that second goal.
I hate this scoreline. 75 minutes, 1-0.
United are going to lose this game.
Both teams have been a little bit underwhelming as this half's gone on. So yeah, let's hope we see a goal from either side.
Get at him.
Look at that lid on Sean.
Right, we'll come to you, Will, after this.
Can you loan me some, Sean?
The attack has fizzled out. Iosi Perez doing his defensive duties there. What's going on in the other games? Any goals for us?
No, nothing to report so far. Tammy Abraham's coming off injured, it looks like, but he's had a fantastic day. A hat-trick for him, and his goal-scoring form continues. Burnley looking to make a few changes to shore up their 1-0 victory. And it looked like a late challenge. I don't know if we'll get another replay of it. Here we go, top right-hand screen here for us boys in the studio.
Yes, wham.
Of a penalty shout.
Ooh.
Nice. Lovely by Tahith.
End-to-end stuff here, though, Will.
Yeah, lots going on. Burnley's 1-0, so 1 goal in that, and Sheffield United are pressing against Southampton. That goal disallowed as well, so some nice close.
That many men around him.
The United fans getting frustrated here. Ash, what happened then?
It just looked like Rashford had almost done the hard work. He got round his man. And you just want to see him burst forward and attack Johnny Evans then. He was going into the penalty box as well, so that was a good chance to take him on, but he just turned back. Oh, he's 76 minutes now.
Yeah, now is nervous times for Manchester United.
That is where you want Martial on the ball, isn't it? In that situation. One-on-one with your man. On the left-hand side, he has got some of the quickest feet in world football. So dangerous in the box. But instead, Ashley Young throws it to the opposition. Actually, that wasn't Young's fault. I'm just getting on the bandwagon there.
He's not our biggest problem. I don't mind Ashley Young.
He isn't. This season, he's not our biggest problem.
He's been fine today.
It's because we had to rely on him so much.
Oh, Wilfred! Leicester have been uncharacteristically wasteful in this game.
The midfield, yeah. I mean, we chatted all hot air about it this morning on this show, but
but saying that, mate, if they got
a
point in this game, it wouldn't be undeserved because United haven't done enough to be like miles in front.
No, you're right. I think that's
right.
What is he doing?
It's mad though.
Oh, that's nice.
Come on.
Go on, DJ.
Come on, Dan.
Go on, DJ.
He's been a bit quiet.
You think at the start of this, before the game kicked off, we were like, United will probably struggle there, winning 1-0. We were like, Spurs had an iffy bit of form at home. They're 4-0 up. Chelsea, we didn't know how well they do, and they're 4-1 up away at Wolves.
So what we've proved is we know nothing.
We know nothing, and the Premier League is a top 6, and no one will ever penetrate that. So shut up shop.
I mean, we did say these two have the best defences in the league, and as such, it might be a cagey game.
And it's tight.
A penalty separates them. It is tight. And there's not much in terms of quality that separates them, which is nice to see for the complexion of the league. But yeah, Wolves getting battered. They're certainly not breaking into the top 6.
Aren't they?
And Everton, threadbare chances. Leicester. Go on, Vards. Go on, Vards.
Oh, give it to
Here's the question.
Maguire has played
Nuno winless.
Oh, what's that?
Nuno winless.
My bad.
How long does Nuno get?
Nuno has the right to take them down, mate, in my opinion. But
Wolves owners aren't saying that, are they?
Yeah,
not with the investment.
They'd be cutthroat.
No,
I think they'd be really cutthroat.
They could finish lower mid-table and that just.
But then what other Portuguese managers are out there?
Jose Mourinho.
They're not nailed on like 8th to 10th team, are they?
It's not a bad shout, Jose.
I reckon Mourinho in by
Jose
Christmas.
Mourinho suddenly puts his name in the hat for the Wolverhampton
Jose
Wanderers
Mourinho's
job.
ego does not allow him to return to the Premier League with Wolves.
So I don't want him to ever leave the Sky Studios.
George Mendes
He's been. How good has he been as a pundit? He's been
class.
unreal.
And a nice bit of human side.
George Mendes is his agent.
He's more relaxed in there, isn't he?
I could listen to him all day as a pundit. He's been so
I
good.
think.
I mean,
Again, that was as bad as his Irish, to be perfectly honest. Can we get some better questions than your impression?
Sam Prescott, M8. Do Liverpool need to sign anyone in January?
I think a left-back cover wouldn't be a bad idea. But,
That's a very good show.
Who's the current cover?
At the current cover, there is no cover. There's James Milner. We said it all
left.
summer long. Another left-back in there to challenge Andy Robertson.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be a bad shout. I think they're quite thin.
Well, they let Moreno go and didn't really...
Let Moreno go. They let Sturridge go. Didn't replace him either.
Which is
so
fine.
I think a bit of depth, which is actually fine, especially with Origi until the injury today. It looked pretty good in his...
Sloppy.
He started against Norwich, didn't he? He played well. So maybe another forward. But I think they've got a settled squad. Probably wouldn't invest in January, but then I'd maybe... If there's a big bid for one of their front three next year, wouldn't be the worst idea to reinvest that money. And because I think in order to go one step further, an unbelievable creative midfielder and another younger forward wouldn't go amiss if they want to win the Premier League.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to have to be cutthroat.
If Naby Keita returns to the side as the player that RB...
No, Maddison!
Go on then, James. Oh, that was guessing. He was guessing there.
Rushed it, didn't
Nothing. Yeah, if Naby Keita returns in form, happy days. If not, yes, they might have to think about buying slightly more attack-minded midfielder. I think they're two good shouts.
United are too deep here.
Nothing left to say there. He's answered it extremely well. Another question for us. Whilst Joe shouts sloppy the whole time.
Do you think City will buy centre half in January?
Pep said no.
Pep did say he wouldn't. Yeah.
That's a massive
Pep
risk.
says a lot of
isn't it?
things. He also said Phil Foden's the best player he's ever worked with.
He says that about a lot of players. Yeah. Every other week, he's the best player I've ever worked with.
Do you think Phil Foden should leave?
No.
Yes.
Next year, his game time will just be massively increased. Just David Silva. You can't
Phil
drop
Foden
David
to
Silva at the
Leipzig,
moment.
got to be done.
Ooh,
Next to
it's a shame,
Ampadu.
Oh,
Ampadu,
wow.
By the way, Ampadu's getting 0 minutes at
Yeah,
Leipzig this season.
So's Lookman as well. I don't think, don't rush into RB Leipzig at the moment. They've got an extremely strong squad. But Phil Foden, just hold your horses. I think he's going to be a world
on loan
beater.
at Dortment. Him and Jadon Sancho just linking up for a season.
one thing
that would be nice.
Before they both return.
The one reason he probably shouldn't leave.
Oh, Ashley Young rolling back the years!
The one reason he probably shouldn't leave is that David Silva is off.
Exactly.
He's already confirmed it.
Oh, sorry, Joseph.
Well, VAR incident here, ball in the penalty box. Neil Maupay's put his head down, and if anyone's a fan of WWE,
Yes.
the Lewis Dunk has come in with what can only be described as a Kane big boot to the face. Took him out, didn't bother to pin him, but just left him on the floor with probably a severe concussion. But he is up now with a lot of Vaseline on the side of his head, and I don't think...
Goose fat.
Sorry, not a penalty. They were checking for a red card because it was a dangerous tackle.
So it wasn't in the box. So
Wasn't
we're
in
not,
the box.
we're not reviewing for a penalty. We're
Referee!
reviewing for a red card.
Referee!
And he's coming off after that, so obviously he must have shook him.
Again,
Right.
McTominay. Again, McTominay, the
Come on
man,
then, a
the
bit of
man that
action.
Patrick Van Straten says should be in the Championship, running through the midfield there.
He's definitely one of our better players today.
You know.
Do you know, we've actually seen a little bit of a different side to him today. He's been kind of the chief ball progressor, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, he's been
All-round good
decent.
midfielder,
He's
Yes, Maupay has gone off. Adams is rolling up his socks.
Adams is lucky that...
And it's Shea,
Rashford,
not Che.
yeah.
Like Che Guerrera.
So I've met him a few
No,
times.
Shea,
He said
yeah.
Che to me.
No, you called it right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Guerrero. Paulo Guerrero.
Oh, I was right.
Yeah, you were right.
So it's
Just
Che,
just
it's Che, not Shea.
It's Shea, not
It's
Che.
It's
been-
Che.
It is Che.
Yeah.
what's this,
What is-
Fred?
it's-
Hold on,
Fred or Rashford
hold on.
on the
Let's just
free kick,
clarify
United.
the pronunciation of his name.
Brazzy
It's
Estate-
spelled C-H-E, but
Yeah.
you called him Shea, and I think it is Shea.
Oh
Why
wow!
weren't we honing? Why weren't we talking about the free?
Doing that Beckham technique, as you were saying.
it's
What an
unlucky.
effort.
Has changed his technique, isn't he? We
Yeah.
talked about
Damn
it
it.
earlier.
That's
Changed his
lovely.
technique up from the Ronaldo one to the Beckham style. That is...
It was
can't
on-
get any closer.
It was on Schmeichel's near side as well, but he just didn't move. That was inches
gutted.
away. We really needed that in this
Yeah,
game
this
as well.
game needed that goal, big time, big time.
did, to be
Anyway,
honest.
back
Oh.
to no. Let's leave that. Let's leave that in the 82nd minute.
Oh, what's it say from Kepa? Goal 4-2! The comeback is on!
Come on!
Take it back to St James's Park 8 years ago, all them times when Arsenal were 4-0 up. I
the
think
brakes on here for Leicester as
it's
well.
Matt Doherty
Who was
with
that?
Catrone.
Sorry, I've had a long day. Catrone, I think, has bundled it in. There was a bit of a goalmouth scramble.
Oh, red card up here as well.
Doherty,
surely.
ball across, Kepa's made a meal of it, and Catrone's bundled it in for his first Wolves goal.
Is that a red
Yes.
card for Billy Sharp,
I think
top
he scored
right?
in the cup.
He's shaking his head.
Certainly in the league, yeah.
I think red card for Billy Sharp, top right,
Let me
maybe.
just double check with you there,
It was
Chris.
a horrible
Okay,
tackle.
while we see if Billy Sharp has indeed been sent off, Daniel James with a tactical foul there, and James Madison picking up a yellow for his troubles, and
I think
Billy
it
Sharp
was a horrible
mouthing a
tackle, I
lot
saw it.
of expletives.
It
It looks like he's going off.
just under the knee, like that high. So it didn't
He
look
must have-
pretty.
See, this is what I don't like. Sharp, fantastic hero, but he's just cost his team with a straight red for what is probably a terrible tackle. Fans clapping him off.
Yeah.
VAR checking in the Wolves game. VAR checking in the Wolves game.
Oh, let's hope Catrone's
goal.
first goal
Oh,
isn't
come
taken
on.
off him.
Leave it out.
That's a goal. Get
Sharp has only just made it off the pitch.
And Chelsea, by the way, are a bit of a bottler so far this season, aren't they? Sheffield United 2-0 at home, suddenly capitulated.
Surely we're
Well,
going to hold on to
I
this
would
third
love to
goal.
see a 4-all.
Chelsea have had a really productive attack this season. I think only two teams, have had more shots than them,
Yeah.
but they've been bad at the back and bad.
Rudiger.
You know when they
gone
come.
off.
I think it was demonstrated very clearly against Manchester United. You know, when they're coming back, they're getting into their defensive shape. It takes them ages, and they're in total disarray a lot of the time.
And I mean, Rudiger's come off, hasn't he? We'll said at half
who's
time,
the kind of
who
linchpin,
is the best player in that back three that they played today. So,
right, 85th minute then, gentlemen. Go on, Will, what were you about to say?
Billy Sharp gets straight red card, arguing about it. His team are 1-0 down, so not only is he taking a man away from them, he's walking off the pitch.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Leicester.
Well done.
I would have encouraged the shot there, to be honest, rather than that one more pass.
Really
yeah, I
good,
think he probably could have
really
shot,
good
although it
reading
is...
of the game here from Lindelof.
Yeah, it's tough. It was tough.
Apart from
There's
the
a man right in front of him, wasn't there?
First
Come on then, Leicester from the corner, 85th
Let's have
minute.
some late drama, lads.
Exactly, Critchley.
No, let's not have any late drama.
Drama. Come on.
Think of the views, Joseph. We need another goal.
I can't even watch.
Here we go. This has got goal.
Sionku.
All over
Go on,
it.
Lord Farquaad.
Back across, second phase.
No.
Oh, what are you doing, Perez?
Is that Perez?
Is that another corner?
No, he touched that.
Perez.
Yay!
What's Perez doing?
He did as well. He
The
knows
drama
he did.
god's
That was
not looking down on us today, lads.
That was so unconvincing, wasn't
That
it?
was, that's a classic
grip.
Perez. He knew he was. He knew he touched that Perez.
What's gone on here? I still don't...
Oh, he's going
Shut your mouth!
The drama.
Shut your mouth! Can you... I haven't got an earpiece, but is that Wolves' goal definitely gone in?
I'm
Yeah, it
not
has.
sure mine's
4-2.
still connected to me, perfectly
Sorry,
honest.
mate. Are we on? 4-2.
4-2. Right, so we've got 4 minutes left of this Man United game, and United have to see this out.
Yeah.
Cannot throw away another lead now. Come on, United. Cannot throw away another lead.
We haven't kept many clean sheets. How many? Would this be the first of the season? No, second of the season?
Second of the season, yeah. I mean, we have only played 4 games, haven't we, so... But either way, our clean sheet would be really delightful. Oh, Chongi!
I've just looked at...
Oh, that's great football by United. Oh, Pereira. I've had enough of Pereira, honestly.
I thought he was gone. Hostily, come on.
Honestly, I don't get him. I don't get what he adds.
He hasn't had his best game. I'm surprised
Such
he
a
hasn't
lack
been
of
hooked.
quality. This is probably...
Midfield, like, he hasn't really identified his best position yet, has he?
And he hasn't really played well
Not in there,
That
Chongi.
control that United
Brighton!
had all of the first game just hasn't been there.
Oh,
Love that. Caspar,
Joe, we've
steady.
kept 1 clean sheet in the last 19 games.
Was that against Chelsea?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's mad.
dearie me.
OK, we're into our final 4 minutes. Let's have some questions. Again, if you've not had a question answered, keep trying in the comments below. Ash will pick out the best ones. And if you're not subscribed to Football Daily or Soccer AM, then hit that subscribe button. Ash, take over, please.
Uriel Mora, do you think Sancho will go to Man United? Can I just add, if you're Jadon Sancho, why on earth would you go to Man United?
I was about to say, yeah. Can we qualify that with, are they in the Champions League next year, to answer this question?
Let's say
As in,
United.
scenarios.
As in, are United, do they
to
finish
United
fourth?
anyway.
Because if they finish fourth,
Yes,
I
for
can
the sake of this question, let's say
Jadon
yes.
Sancho potentially going to United, and that I think they'll go really hard for him. I think he'll be the primary summer target alongside that defensive midfielder. And if they offer 120 million for Dortmund, that's a 112 million euro profit on 2.5 seasons for them.
James, what
can-
Oh, goal!
William, please.
Jeff Hendrick, the ball's come out of the area. I think it is, yeah. It's a low fizzer.
Wait, is that not 1-0 Burnley? Because wasn't it disallowed? Was it Lopez disallowed or what?
Hang on. Hang on a second.
second.
Come on, William. One job,
It's
4
1-1.
games.
It's 1-1.
It is your
Thomas, sit down. Hendrick from about 25 yards. Keeper couldn't do anything about it. Look at that.
Oh, Jeffrey!
Oh, Jeffrey, absolutely.
right into the corner.
Outside.
Lovely technique on that.
Of the right
Very
beat.
good.
I love a low strike.
Yeah.
Of a goal there, some late drama in the Brighton Burnley game. Any danger of that happening here at Old Trafford? Perhaps not. Both teams reverting to long ball. Here we go, Leicester progressing it down the right.
You know who I think's been pretty impressive today in a low-key fashion? Johnny Evans. Soyuncu's been a bit shaky at times, obviously gave away that penalty in the first half. Johnny Evans has dealt with Marcus Rashford's threat very easily, although I would add to that United have been he's been pretty isolated this second half. They haven't had too much to deal with.
I don't think an awful lot has been asked of either centre-half.
But he's been
either
solid,
set of centre-halves.
solid when called upon.
Oh, Twanzabi. Lovely.
And that really sums up this game.
Dan James coming off for
Centre half
Tuanzebe.
coming on in the 89th minute.
Good shift again from Daniel James, actually.
Yeah.
In that it's just done and dusted, I think. I hope I'm eating my words in the next 3 or 4 minutes, but nothing has suggested that will happen. Any other drama apart from Jeff Hendrick, the Irish Perlo, absolutely kicking out the side net?
strike. That's a Tom Huddleston.
Love it.
Oh, God, yeah.
Rolling back the
technique on
years
him.
there, Joseph. Tom Huddleston, who was given at least 3 England caps off the back of that one strike.
Davies coming on in midfield, I think, for United.
Shea Adams has
Can
come
you, like,
off.
sit in the base,
You've said
can't you?
Shea again. Can I just bring this conversation back to the fore? That is correct.
Yeah.
I call him Che.
Oh, you were saying you were in the wrong.
Yes.
Let's have a drink after. He's come off today. He's been very wasteful with the chances. Oh, I thought Chelsea would have scored a 5th.
Deal with that.
But,
Deal
yeah.
with
What a ball. He wasn't even
Doubling up. Get over there, Pereira.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
come on.
Oh, he spun
Ben.
him.
Ben, spaghetti legs. Lovely.
corner.
Oh,
No.
here we go. Let's call the drama gods again. Drama.
Come on then.
God.
Leicester City.
The worst thing I've ever seen.
91st minute corner. Ash is cringing. Joe is hiding behind the pillow.
Proper in between us.
Schmeichel's up. Come on.
Come on. It's going to be a Schmeichel.
Come on. Oh, wasted.
we go.
Wasted that.
And Didi.
Shoot!
Ashley Young.
Schmeichel's fuming. I absolutely love that. Schmeichel berating whoever has failed to swing that
furious.
How many added
in.
minutes were there?
So he should be.
Long run back for him.
Oh, goodness gracious. Right.
Did we see the added minutes? Yeah.
Sorry, other games, Will, you were kind of cut
Well, just Wolves. Cut
off there.
What
are you doing, Fred?
Still, I think they've.
No! He's been cut off again for good reason. Joe is having
Johnny Evans diving.
all the product has dissipated out of Joe's hair. He now.
Oh, no!
no! Oh, come on!
So close. What an
Wilfred.
effort.
Broke my chair.
Wilfred on
dropping
his
ball.
weaker foot from about 8 yards. He's taken a swing and a miss. Will's breaking the chair. I've lost my voice.
Back on.
Joe's hair's all over the top,
That is-
all over the place.
Giving a lot of credit to McTominay, but this is not a good
Right.
That's awful, isn't it?
We'll have some more questions at the end, guys,
How
so
long?
keep sending them in. We've got another minute of this game. Wilfred and Didi passing.
Left foot.
Was it on the half volley or the volley?
Full
volley,
volley.
left
Full
foot.
volley.
Full Danny Rose
We love
volley.
a full volley. Oh, goodness gracious. Full fat volley. Right, come
How's
on.
that happening?
Oh, no.
Wow, Harvey Barnes.
Harvey, but
Have we been praising him?
How many minutes?
Well,
6?
we were gagging for him to come on, and he's not done an awful lot.
Pretty
Look at the
anonymous.
state of Pereira there. It's Chilwell.
Ben Chilwell.
Foul him.
Chilwell's
Well done.
class.
Ben
Chilwell's
Chilwell
class.
is class.
Well done.
1-1. Brighton versus Burnley is over.
Great
Okay,
finish.
is that the only game that's finishing?
Yeah.
The others fizzling out? Or?
No, well, Spurs is done, but.
Way back.
Ben-
Ref! Get it back, ref!
Benteke.
Get it back! Ref's took it from the halfway line.
We're not going to go to Will for the rest of the show because every time we have, Joe has just interjected. So I'm going to give you a break for 2 minutes, all right?
No worries, mate. I need a.
Maguire. Oh, Christ, it's tense.
Fred, would you get it down, boy?
United have got 8 men behind the ball. Leicester.
How?
Sheffield
Get down.
United. Dean Henderson
Get
is
out.
up for
Get
Sheffield
out.
United.
Go on then, Rashid.
Go on, Rashid. Go on, Rashid. Rashford's in.
Rashford's in.
What's he doing?
Good recovery.
Oh!
Good recovery that from Tielemans.
Tielemans.
Excellent, Tielemans. Yuri Tielemans' his
What a
biggest
bit of
contribution
defensive play
to
there.
this game.
That's what you want. Long ball.
Oh, well done, Lindelof.
What?
Come on, come on.
No semblance of any formation from either
How many
side.
minutes, ref?
Yeah, I was
Keep
just
the
about
ball.
to say,
Look
was
at
it
McTominay.
95?
Look
Keep
at
the ball.
McTominay. Go on, boy. Unreal by Scott, that.
Corner for Sheffield United. Corner for
Nick a throw
Sheffield
in.
United. Dean
Nick a
Henderson
throw
is
in.
up. Hamill.
All right, Will's out of his exile. Go on, Will.
Corner in. Henderson.
Oh, hello, little ruckus.
Go on.
Go on, scrap.
What happened there?
Go on then.
So McTominay was
Hold
take
on,
it into the
lads. Come on,
corner.
rein it in.
McTominay took it into the corner and then held on to the ball really nicely.
No, he did well there.
Went down and then it just sort of all kicked off. I'm not really sure why.
Okay, well,
That's good
I mean,
time.
this plays into United's hands, doesn't it? McTominay will be absolutely
Oh, what a
delighted
goal!
with
What a goal! Mason Mount
Oh,
has
my
scored.
word.
Signed, sealed, and delivered.
5-2.
5-2.
What a game in
Mason
at
Mount,
the
what a
Molyneux.
start to the season.
Nuno
Take
in trouble.
a bow, young man. Explain the
that?
goal to us, please.
Left-hand side, Mason Mount's cut inside and he's just curled it past Rui Patricio, who
He loves that finish, doesn't he?
He loves that finish, and Rui should know better, but he's done nothing about it.
What happens?
Rui should know better. Do you know who else was also a goalkeeper?
Who?
Nuno Espirito Santos, mate.
I've learned a lot today.
Every day's a school
Also,
day.
the Batman on for Chelsea, getting some minutes. Oh, it is a bit nasty,
I
that.
do think some of the Wolves centre-back defending, from Vallejo here and Cody for 2 of the goals, not really good enough.
No,
And
especially...
especially they're 2 class players as well. They just hasn't been their day.
yeah.
Vallejo doesn't look like he's come from Real Madrid there, as Mason Mount, who was on loan at Derby last season.
We're all done.
Absolutely.
Let's put some respect on Mount's name, though. He's
done fantastic. Was that his
another
third-
player
his
that
third
Pato
goal?
just
Done more than
written
Madison.
off.
Pato's reputation taking a beating here. Mason Mount's. Yes!
Come on!
Skyrocketing.
Yes!
Get in. Joe Tomlinson
You'd
skyrocketing.
expect that when you win the treble, not a 1-0 at home to Leicester. That's
2 happy United. 30 seconds when these two have called their jets, but let's just let them have the moment for the time being. Sionku's error costing
Top
Leicester
4.
in this game. Some bad blood at the end. Schmeichel is in Martin Atkinson's face. And what a dramatic ending to proceedings.
Get in there.
All the other games ended, Will?
all the other
win.
games about Southampton held on. Dean Henderson came up, headed the ball as a goalkeeper. Tottenham and 1-1 with that Jeff Hendrick little swash goal.
Yeah, scenes at the final whistle here.
Get in.
At Sheffield United now, we're just at Spurs. Yenpo again looking like he's been a very good acquisition at around 15-16 million pounds. That form translating from the Belgian league to the Premier League pretty much instantaneously. Coming up to the Molineux, where Chelsea 5-2. That is impressive.
mental
And it is also
Nuno
very
in trouble,
indicative
mate.
of their strengths and weaknesses. Will has his hand up. We're back in school. Go on, pal.
I think we've all forgotten about Tomori's goal of the season contender.
We have.
Oh, yeah, what a goal.
We have.
True.
If I see a better goal than that this season, well, I'll be chuffed, William. Absolutely chuffed. So that's it. We've done a roundup of all our games. Time to answer some of your questions before we plug some bits and bobs. We're going to look at the bet very, very briefly. I think we all know the way this has gone, thanks to the man on my left. You're right. I mean, let's not stay on it for too long, because Chelsea beat Wolves 5-2. And Ash also letting the side down.
And me.
Joe also letting the
yeah.
side down. OK, so we've done nothing for you there. If you've learned anything from this week, it's just do not abide by what we say.
We tried. We go again.
Right. Well, gentlemen, we're going to go to the table before we address the fan question. So let's have a very quick check. Top of the table, Liverpool sitting pretty. 5 wins in 5. Manchester City obviously playing later on, next week even. Tottenham, that move propels them to 3rd. Think the table's looking slightly more as expected now. Obviously, Crystal Palace and Everton were sort of breaching the top 6 prior to this round of games, weren't they? But that is Leicester down to 5th, Chelsea in 6th, and it's starting to take shape, isn't it? Arsenal, of course, playing later on as well. Bottom of the table, Watford unmoved. Wolves looking pretty harrowing for them. Who have been the biggest beneficiaries in the bottom half? Brighton maybe moving up to 14.
Brighton, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it could have been 3 points though, and it should have been 3 points really, shouldn't it?
It should have been 3 points, you're right, Will. OK, let's have a bit of chat then. Let's have some fan questions. Let's round off the show with 2 or 3 of the best ones. Ash, you been saving any, keeping any?
Yeah, I got a nice one
pockets
actually. One of them about England's chances at Euro 2020. What do you make of their prospects for the tournament? coming
I
up in
saw
the
you
summer?
did your 11.
I did my 11.
You
yeah,
love an 11?
I love an 11.
Early doors. You've gone early doors.
Very brave.
With a few months in advance. I had obviously Pickford in goal. I had Trent on the right, Chilwell on the left, Maguire and a fully fit Stones as my back 4. And then I had Rice, Henderson and Maddison as a midfield 3, with Maddison being the most advanced. Didn't start Harry Winks or Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Or Dele
And then
Alli.
up front I had, or Dele Alli. Up front I had Harry Kane, Sterling on the left, Sancho on the right, with Rashford coming off the bench. And it got a lot of stick, but it also got a bit of praise.
For what? What selections got stick?
They thought that the midfield didn't look great, and they thought that I should start Rashford ahead of Sancho, which
No
was,
way.
No,
Even as a United fan, I
particularly as a winger.
the front 3, you're right.
OK.
So I'm quite excited, but
Has anyone got any strong sort of feelings about Dougie's team?
I think it's more like I agree with that 11 to a certain extent, but it's thinking more like what Southgate's going to do as well, because this inclusion of Barkley all the time just seems to be persistent. He really likes Dele Alli. He said he'd bring Kyle Walker back into the squad as well. So it's more what Southgate's like sticking with as well, isn't it?
Yeah, weird that. The England team might actually be more of a reflection of Southgate than Doogie's thinking. OK.
Weird that.
Joe, England squad?
Very similar to Dukes. I got to get a way of getting Harry Winks in there for me.
Really?
Yeah, love Harry Winks.
Just to retain the ball?
I think I would probably put him in over Hendo.
You've become infatuated with him at the start of the season.
I think I'd go Rice, Winks, Maddison as my midfield three. I think I'd have Rice as the destroyer, Winks just popping passes off, constantly an option,
You think
and
Winks
Maddison.
instead of Henderson?
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen. Like, if you're being realistic, then Henderson's going to play, but I would prefer to see Winks over Henderson.
I think we're struggling for like a really well-balanced like three and a 4-3.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
none of those threes are balanced.
They're not really appealing to me.
Especially
Maybe
for
a 4-2-3-1.
tournament football, yeah.
I think Rice, Henderson, and Maddison's quite nicely balanced.
Yeah, that's
Henderson's been playing quite advanced.
And he's not really been a player who's carried the ball. Vine Adams done that at Liverpool.
Maguire and Stones.
I think like Rice and Henderson are pretty much the same player for England.
I think you get a lot of progression from your fullbacks though, Chilwell and Trent as well. And
Very
your
true.
centre halves are really good on the ball, Maguire and Stones. I don't know whether you necessarily need that sort of 10 deep progressions a game.
In tournament football, can you push up your fullbacks like that?
Yeah.
To go that bold and not have protection?
Well, if he's
definitely.
I imagine if he's playing a 3 that he has done before, then he will be expecting the progression to be from his fullbacks. But if he goes to a 4, that might be a little bit risky. So what would you go for, Ash?
I would go your back 4 and your keeper, obviously. I would throw Oxlade-Chamberlain into the mix if he can keep fit, because then you've got the Henderson, Rice, and someone like Oxlade-Chamberlain. I actually wouldn't start Maddison. I don't think, depending on how he does this season, obviously, but I don't think he'd be ready to start an England tournament.
Okay.
The front 3 nailed on. You can't argue with that. Yeah. Rashford's the only one that could come into contention, but
back 4 and front 3 are nailed on, aren't they?
Yeah.
There's options in the midfield. Mount can have a really good season and push for a race in there.
But the midfield 3 shows that we don't have quite that quality that we do up top or at the back.
We're missing a game-controlling central midfielder. Like we've got an attacking centre mid in Maddison who's going to create chances.
Need
we've got a destroyer in Rice, but we haven't got somebody who's just going to constantly keep the ball and progress.
It's still the weakest area by a distance. And also central defence, obviously, we saw some errors against Kosovo from Maguire and Michael Keane, although you'd expect when Stones come back, he'd go back into that lineup. But then he made a couple of errors against Netherlands. We're being held back by like a lack of protection in front of that midfield, in front of that defence, and individual errors as well. But we just need to start Rice because I think he's the future as a DM. I don't want Henderson playing as that pivot. I think he's best when he's charging up and down, just getting involved as much as possible.
I wouldn't be confident in pinning the future of England's defensive midfield hopes on a player like Rice. He's good defensively, but there's a few players that are going to put up like 5 tackles and interceptions. I think Henderson could be one of them, Declan Rice certainly, but both of them, I would say we're missing a Busquets, who's been like a generational talent, but someone who's going to do that and also control the game from the base of midfield. Like we are lacking that player in the English setup, which is why I think you probably need to play a double pivot. But that is just my thoughts. Penny for my thoughts. What have you got left for us on this show? Let's make this the final question then before we talk about next week's Football Social, next week's Saturday Social, so on and so forth.
Great name here, Not Hairless. Do you think we will see another title miracle like Leicester in the next 10 years?
Is that a dig at me?
Probably not.
Do you think there'll be a title challenge from Leicester?
No. Will there be another Leicester-style title miracle?
Probably not, to be brutally honest. Sorry, it's a bit of a boring answer, but I just think the top 4 or so, well, the top 3 streets ahead of the rest. I mean, it's difficult enough to find someone who's going to break into the top 6, let alone a title challenge like that.
But then
and it was an exceptionally weird year that Leicester won it. They won it with something like 81 points, which is, I think, the lowest of the last 10 years. They were no means a vintage side. They just picked up a year that Arsenal were pretty poor, although they challenged until January, and then Spurs sort of threw it in the way in the last couple of months. So, no.
The surprise would be anyone winning it whilst Guardiola's still at City.
Yeah, that's
Klopp,
the thing. While Klopp and Guardiola are there, then no one else is going to win it, I don't think. And then when you fast forward 5 years, maybe when one of those two have left, then you look and see who's the next title challenger.
Well, on the subject of Premier League football, we have some coming up, but let's plug next week's show first and foremost. As you can see on the screen now, next Sunday, the Football Social returns for the Chelsea versus Liverpool game. What a time, mouth-watering. Live on Soccer AM and Football Daily's YouTube pages at 4:15. Then we have some Premier League football for you. So tonight's Norwich versus Manchester City. And then we have Bournemouth, Everton, Watford, Arsenal, and Aston Villa, West Ham over the course of a Super Sunday and MNF. So plenty to keep you busy as we work our way through the weekend. So that's it, gentlemen. What a lovely show it's been.
Lovely.
I've really enjoyed myself. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Doogie. Will, pleasure as always. 2 very early starts for you, gentlemen. And you look like you need to,
fair play, lads.
Need to hit the hay. Ash,
well done.
Always nice having you on. A rare sight, but a beautiful sight. Anyway, let's end on that note. Guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel, hit subscribe now. That's all I've got to say. Goodbye, take care.
No, that has to be a penalty.
No. Yeah!
Don't miss.
Yeah! Come on, William.
Go on, DJ. Go on, DJ.
Scored for Tottenham.
Wow.
Isn't on the other wing. Go on, mate.
Tottenham Song gets Heung-min Son. What a goal! Is that Tamori?
Oh my God!
Tamori has scored from about 35 yards out. It's 4-0 now, and as we said, Crystal Palace have got a fantastic defensive record until today.
Oh, wow!
Mason Mount.
Oh! Oh, wow!
Why weren't we talking about the free kick?
Fred, would you get it down, boy?
Drama, come on.